Hey, what's going on, everybody? I had to do some rearranging, because at first I had it on one scheduled stream and then I had to delete it and start it all over. For some reason, I don't know what was going on, but for some reason, oh, hold on, let me mute this right quick. Yeah, I had to start it all over on a separate stream. Make sure when y'all come into the room to hit the like button. Well, welcome, Rondi. Says it's your first time here. Appreciate it for people who came in and liked the stream. We're going to get started in a couple minutes. I got quite a few topics that will be discussed today, probably almost more than it was last week. Same here, Ashton, even though I think it's only going to be a teaser and probably not like a full trailer, but just something to show us, what they have done so far. Because the movie don't come out till next March. How was everybody's week? I should say, how was everybody's week? I was going to say weekend, but how was everybody's week? My week was pretty light, pretty decent. But this week I got coming up is going to be extremely busy. Well, that's always a good thing, Came and you survived. That's always a good thing. Exactly, Shelly. The weeks do go by fast. Notice that when you're a child, your weeks go by super slow. But then once you get past like the age of 21, your days start to pass by like minutes. That's why when our parents was telling us when we was kids, they say try to stay kids forever, but we didn't really want to hear them say that. But now as adults, we understood exactly what they mean. Because the adulting life is so overrated. I mean, you can do a lot of things, but when it comes to stuff like priorities such as paying bills and things of that nature, then it's like, ugh. I'll probably start getting into the topics in about 2 more minutes. Yeah, and you say you got to go to work soon. Well, I'm off today, thankfully. But like I said, this week coming up is going to be busy because I'm going to be juggling between both of my jobs this week, and that rarely happens. and that's like starting tomorrow all the way to Saturday. I think time is moving faster for us because we are constantly in motion of doing stuff. We're not just sitting idly by being bored. It was going on Dallas Fort Worth. I haven't watched WWE anything in years. And ironically, one of the places that I work, that event comes to my job to have one of their WWE events. And I've only worked one, and I don't plan on working another one. And that was back when I first started working there about 4.5 years ago. What's going on, Mr. Parking Lot? All right, this is 110. I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Now, what I'm gonna start doing is, if y'all remember how I used to do my podcast on SoundCloud, if there's any kind of good stories to talk about, I'm going to talk about those first and then go into the stories that y'all really would like to um talk about, or I should say the quote unquote messy stories of the week. But the first story I wanted to talk about, and there's actually only two good stories that I have so far this week. And the first one is congratulations to Nia Franklin. If y'all don't know who she is, she was just crowned the 2018 Miss America, and she was Miss New York, or still is Miss New York, and she is a black woman. Like, I'm talking like my complexion, black woman, very beautiful woman, and she was crowned Miss America, I think, this past week. I didn't know about it. I didn't even know that the show even aired because I don't care. I don't like. I'm not watching those pageants and stuff like that. But hey, a black woman won. Kudos to her. I think it came down between her and I forgot who the other woman was, but the other woman, I think she looked like she was Asian American. I think, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure. Spirit of justice, he said, is she a bad witch? I don't know. Those women in those pageants aren't in relationships, because I think that's one of the criteria. They can't be married. They can't have already have kids and things of that nature. Um, so I'm not sure what her relationship status is. Because I think the last one, as a matter of fact, I think the last few winners for that pageant have been black. Because I think the one before her who won, she was from DC, I think, and she won. They don't have to be a virgin, they just can't be attached to anybody. No, Ashton Lewis, you're thinking of Naomi Osaka. I'm gonna talk about her in a minute because something else just happened for her. But no, she's like a straight up. You know what? Hold on, let me see something right quick. Let me see if I can pull up a picture of her so y'all can see her. The reason why they can't be married is because when they're constantly like when they take that title, they're constantly traveling all the time. And they don't want one of those kind of things. Well, oh well, my husband is like complaining that I'm traveling too much. Oh, I have kids. I can't do this because I have to take my kids to school. Oh, I can't do this because they don't want any obligations attached to them. And see, at that point, when they start doing all of that, then that's when they'll say, you know what, just give the title up to the runner-up. Yes, Joe Johnson. I'm actually like talking to my I'm trying to get in contact with my graphic designer now. I don't know. He's kind of busy. Like it's like I'm not the only person that he has attachments to. He's actually a very busy individual. But once I actually get in contact with him, because the last time I spoke with him, I'm not even gonna lie, was probably like sometime last week when we was discussing trying to get everything in motion as far as getting the shirts out. Because the last time I spoke with him, he told me that he was going to talk to the print department, the printing people, so they can actually get the stuff on the shirt so we can get them sent out to everybody. Okay, now y'all seen it. Oh, look, Spirit of Justice did their due diligence. He went and researched and said she got a black boyfriend. Well, there's the answer to y'all question. Okay, now that we've done that first bit of news, let's go on to the second bit of news. And someone actually kind of like mentioned her somewhat, and that's Naomi Osaka. As we all know what's going on with her, she won her first Grand Slam against Serena Williams. That's not the new news. And this news I actually just found out about, I think, a few hours ago, right before I started this live stream. She has just signed a huge deal with Adidas. She has signed an $8.5 million a year deal with Adidas. And they said she is the first, I think, woman to have a deal that high. Now, a lot of people were saying, when that happened, it was like, wow, like, so they didn't give Serena Williams that, this, and that, and 30. I said, you got to understand, Serena Williams has been around for a long time, and they're looking for what is fresh and new. And Naomi Osaka is fresh and pretty new, and she beat Serena not once, but twice. See, a lot of people neglect to remember that Naomi played Serena earlier this year and beat her. It's just that the Grand Slam one is more popular because of this being a huge tournament. But when I read that, something in me said, why couldn't it have been Nike? Just to rub their face in it a little bit more. But shout out to her. She got this nice deal from Adidas. I think she's gonna have a pretty bright future ahead of her. So I'm proud of her. And like I said, she make sure that she acknowledges her Haitian side. She told the people that she grew up in a Haitian household. She has Haitian roots. Her dad is Haitian. And to the people that was in the comment section on my video saying, why does she have the last name Osaka instead of her dad's last name, which is Francois? I'll say it right here where hopefully many people can hear it. The reason, and I found out yesterday, the reason being is because in Japanese culture, it is customary that the child take the last name of the mother instead of the dad. Now, She was born in Japan, and I think she lived there until she was like 2. And then she moved to the States and lived in New York for a while, and now she lives in Florida. So there's the answer right there. And I found out from one of my subscribers. Shout out to the individual who sent me that information because I didn't know. Like y'all didn't know. Now, hopefully, y'all know. And and Rottweiler, the reason why she's repping Japan or represented Japan is not because of her eyes and last name. It's because Japan gave her the most endorsements. I found that out today too. That's why she represented Japan. Japan gave her the most endorsements. So whoever endorses you more is who you're going to go with. I mean, you would be a fool not to. Now I know you're not saying that you said it. I'm just saying because you were the one who wrote the comment in the chat. But I know other people were saying that too. But the reason being is because Japan gave her the most endorsements. Oh yes, when there is a lot of politics in sports, as we have clearly seen for the last couple of years with Colin Kaepernick. I mean, he lifted the veil on a lot of stuff. Exactly, Cass. Everything is political. A Spirit of Justice, you want to know why she got more endorsements probably from Japan instead of the US? Because naturally the US is going to give more endorsements to Serena. After all, Serena was born here. And Serena was the bigger name. But let's see how all of that starts to change the next go around after they have seen what she has done in this most recent tournament. Actually, Joe Johnson, they did criticize Tim Tebow when he kneeled, but not nearly on the level as they did with Colin, not by far. And Tim Tebow's his reason was different because Collins was about police brutality and social injustice. Tim Tebow's was about something else. I can't remember exactly what it was, but for them it was only a blip on the radar and it wasn't as important. But they did criticize him though, but just not on the level that Colin Kaepernick got hit with it. Yeah, the umpire said they planned on boycotting Serena because of the thing and whatnot. But there was actually a video which I saw on Paris Milan's YouTube channel in which she has showed these white female tennis players from years ago used to smash their rackets, and one of them actually smashed her racket up against the umpire's podium. Like you could like when I saw that video, now that was some aggression. She took that tennis racket and bashed it up against the tennis podium that the umpire was sitting in, like up against the rail where they climb up to sit in the seat. Exactly, Cassie. You said he was kneeling for Jesus. He was more on a religious tip, and they were making fun of him. But we're supposed to be in a so-called Christian nation, right? I said back. I said at that point we should have known right then and there that they exposed themselves for the hypocrites that they are. I think the things that people that shock the people about Serena even more is the fact that she had a child and she came back and got as far as she did. Yeah, I saw the videos too. Like I saw quite a few videos of like white tennis players, both men and women, having these extremely crazy outbursts on the tennis court. If I had watched tennis enough to know to care, then I would really go in on that. But since I don't watch it like that, or I'm not phased by it as much, then I really can't put my 2 cents on it. What's going on, Anna? I know I said I was going to do this last week, and I'm a man of my word. I put the link in the description, so if anybody wants to join the panel before I go forward with any more discussions, you can go ahead now because there's plenty of stuff we got to talk about. And I don't think it would be good if I just handle it all by myself. Like I have a whole list of stuff to discuss. What's going on, when Joe Johnson? When is it Larry Elder cooning out? Little Miss Firecracker, I did see that. I said better late than never, but I mean, it's at this point, it's pointless. All right, Emerald, have a good day, or try to have a good day at work. I mean, but he's late. He's late on coming to her defense because people have been going in on her for how long since they've been together. So it's like whatever at this point. If nothing health wise happened to Larry Elder, then I really don't care. I bet that's probably will be the only thing that her husband ever says, and you're probably not going to hear from him again or anytime soon. Exactly, Dallas Fort Worth. It was probably pressure from the people saying, "Well, where's her husband? Where's her husband? Where's her husband?" He just basically came out into the defense of her because of that picture that Australian cartoonist had made. The that derogatory picture he made of her. But what I noticed is that a lot of people didn't even come out to the defense. Well, some people did, but nobody except a few, and I'm not going to say myself included, came out into the defense and said, why did they make Naomi Osaka look like a white girl, like a white woman? Like they gave her blonde hair and made her skin look lily white. I'm like, she's not white, nor does she have blonde hair. Oh, Cats, I'm almost certain he looked like he couldn't even bust a grape. And I wouldn't be surprised if his defense of her is extremely scripted. Exactly. Naomi has a very brown skin tone. Them Haitian roots are deep within her bloodstream. Like she couldn't even pass. Like if you was to walk down the street and see her, you couldn't say that, oh, she's a Japanese or a full Japanese woman. And I could tell that she was mixed with something. And when I found out her mother was Japanese, I said, "Yep, there it is." She would be what a lot of people will call Blasian. Not Blasian like Tiger Woods, but Blasian. Because after all, Japan is in the country of Asia. And her dad is Haitian, but he is black. What's going on, August? I'm sorry, y'all. Continent, not country. Hey Joe, if you're still in the chat, I just posted the link below. I need to get a new computer because some of the keys are sticking and they kind of malfunction. So sometimes I can't type out certain things. So I couldn't type out your name because your name has a couple of the keys in it that aren't working. So I just posted the link in the chat again. Well, see, I have a Mac and my warranty is up. And to have a keyboard replaced on a MacBook costs a lot of money. And the computer that I saw actually will cost less than the actual keyboard itself. Exactly, Ashton. A lot of people didn't even know Bob Marley was biracial until it came out years later. Some people still don't know. And yeah, this MacBook that I've had this Mac since probably it was probably maybe since 2012, I think. So I've had it for a minute now. But since the warranty is gone, then I can't, it's going to cost a lot of money. As a matter of fact, speaking of that, when I first got my Mac, about a month after I got it, I actually had spilled some juice on it and ruined the whole keyboard. I was like, oh, I was so scared. But what I did was I packaged it up, sent it to Apple. They repaired it and sent that thing back to me like within the same week. So I sent it out like that Monday and got it back by that Friday. Brand new keyboard. No, I didn't see Angela Bassett's 60th birthday party, but I'm sure that it was a very good time, and I'm mad because I wasn't invited. Rottweiler Morris, what's your email? As a matter of fact, send your email to my email because so you won't get like any kind of like weird messages because you don't know who could be watching this live stream right now. Just because the 61 people watching don't mean that they all in the chat room. All right, I'm gonna move on to the next topic, and that is the topic of Hurricane Florence. First off, is there any of my subscribers who was in the area while the hurricane was occurring? And I'm gonna say while it was occurring because I don't think it's a hurricane anymore. It's been downgraded to a tropical storm. Well, for me, the original path. Where I'm at, I got lucky because where I am, the original path was for it to go into the Carolinas, and no, Dallas Fort Worth. It went into the Carolinas. There's nowhere near Florida. It was supposed to go to the Carolinas and then go upwards, but it shifted and went downwards. So it went to the Carolinas, like North Carolina, South Carolina, like that. Those are the two main places that it hit, and it's kind of like it kind of stalled there. And when it was coming in, it came in as a category 4, but then it got downgraded to a 2 once it made landfall. Then it went to a 1, but it stalled. They said the storm was only moving like 2 miles an hour, which is not good because that means it's moving extremely slow while having extremely high winds and a lot of rain. As a matter of fact, Lisa did a video on her channel this morning talking and showing pictures of the devastation that was going on down there. Of course, there was a lot of flooding. There was a lot of power outages. I even saw a clip where a BP gas station the part where the people pumped their gas got lifted off of the foundation. Yeah, Nikki, I saw that video. It was a video of this news reporter exaggerating the winds of the storm. And then when the camera had zoomed out, you saw like 2 or 3 people just walking casually in the background. I said, they are full of it. Hey, what's going on, Gwen?
Hey, how you? Can you hear me?
I'm doing good.
Okay. I can't hear myself, but just wanted to make sure you could hear me, and I'm on. I think this is my first time.
You are. I can hear you.
Okay. Can the room hear me?
I'm sure they can. If I can hear you, I know they can hear you.
Okay. Good. Well, I wasn't in the path of the storm. I live down the street from FedEx Field, so I get to see them go up to the ball game all the time.
Okay. But yeah, like that storm was like it did some damage. Like there was a lot of flooding, of course. I'm sure them people down there got some kind of insurance. Now I was I think one of my coworkers was telling me that there's different insurances. Like you have a hurricane insurance and a flood insurance, but they're not together. So if you have hurricane insurance but not flood insurance, they can't do nothing for flooding, but they got you on that hurricane.
Yeah, we all have to check on that.
Exactly, because they'll put that stuff in the small print. Hey, what's going on, Sh0w? You know what? I don't know how I managed to not give you a wrench, because you definitely have to be a mod for this channel. Because them trolls are serious. They'll follow me from my main channel to this one. They follow me everywhere. But yeah, for places that have like a lot of flooding, that's crazy. And see, the thing is with insurance, you got to pay for that. Mm-hmm. And that's why they keep it separate. They're like, oh, we're gonna make sure you're insured for every little thing, but we're gonna make sure that we get you for every little thing too. So if you want this flood insurance, you got to pay up. But if you don't have it, then you on your own. So it's like a double-edged sword.
I did get a boat, one of those little rubber boat things, because I got scared from Houston and over there in the Panhandle, when I kept seeing people waving the flag, trying to get somebody to pick them up, and they wouldn't.
Right.
And so that's when I decided that everybody black and everybody in the black neighborhood needs to get a boat, a little portable boat off of Amazon, because I hate to see us being the families waving the flags when the helicopters pass by.
Exactly. And speaking of flags, did you see the video when they were showing the hurricane? I think it was right when it just made landfall, when it ripped the flag in half.
Yeah, they made a mess. That was
Yeah, like
that was with
that's
an attitude.
right. Like if y'all didn't see it, it was on the news. They kept showing it. I don't know how many people didn't see it, but there was the American flag. It was a little small one, and the wind was so powerful that it literally ripped it in half. Like it was flying and flapping, and all of a sudden you saw the one flag ended up becoming two pieces. That's how powerful that wind was. It was ripping that flag in half.
It was
And see when the
ugly.
flag, and then when it was getting wet, of course, it made it even more like thinner and more durable to tear. I was laughing the whole time I was watching it.
I was just amazed. I figured that well, just bad wind. That's what it does. And it
Exactly.
had a political opinion, apparently.
Mm-hmm. People was making a joke about people was making a joke about it. They were saying how, oh, so they said, are they going to boycott hurricanes now?
Let them try. I'd be impressed.
Right.
Go for it.
Right. But yeah, if anybody, I hope like if it was any of my subscribers out there that was in that area, I hope they did heed the warning and actually get out, because them state of emergencies are no joke. They actually had made one for Maryland and Virginia, but they kind of took those away when they saw that the path had the hurricane track had shifted and went into a whole nother direction, which is more further south.
Yeah, when they made the one for Maryland, I called long distance to my relatives that lives further west, and
Mm-hmm.
they were expecting me. I said, we're going to keep in touch, because
Right.
I was going to throw some things in the car and head west.
Right, because I work at an airport, and a lot of people they got out like crazy like a few days before. And see, the thing is that was before the hurricane decided to go in another direction, so they were already gone. But it was like it's best to be safe than sorry.
That's
But I
right.
said that works for me because that means it was a slow day the next couple of days because of that.
Yeah, because I'd rather be gone and not need to be than to need to be gone and not be gone.
Hmm. And
You know.
and also too, it was a small town in South Carolina named McCormick, South Carolina, where there was a small earthquake that happened right before the hurricane hit.
Oh, really?
It didn't really get on the news like that, so it probably wasn't a powerful earthquake, but it was one that'll make you like feel something, sort of like the one that happened here a few years ago. Remember that?
Yes, I was downtown Washington D.C. at
Yeah,
work.
I was at home when it happened because I had just graduated college that May, and I remember the earthquake was in September, and I was like just laying down, just like relaxing, and all of a sudden I'm like, why is my bed moving like this? And I'm like, what? I'm like, what is going on? I hop up and stuff is falling. I'm like, okay, what just happened? I quickly ran, like my heart is like jumping through my chest, and then I go and turn on TV, and they said breaking news: there was an earthquake. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, that it's scary when you feel it because you don't really believe what is happening.
Exactly. See, and that's the thing with earthquakes. There's no warnings. You know,
Nope.
you have warnings for tornadoes and hurricanes and things like that. But earthquake is like the only natural disaster that does not have a warning. So when it happens, it just happens. So you could be asleep, and let's just put it this way: there's not enough hard sleeping in the world that'll get you through an earthquake. You're gonna wake up from that.
Well, it's shaking your bed.
Exactly. The only way that probably won't happen is if you dead.
Yeah, and you'll still shake. 'Cause
Right. Exactly.
we was in a classroom and it was shaking and we're looking around at each other because we didn't believe what we were really feeling. And then that PA system came on and, told us from there. But yes, there was an earthquake. And we were downtown
Exactly.
DC. And it was amazing.
Mhm.
That's also part of my support for the theory. We are in epic times. These are biblical times.
Mhm.
These are warning times. You don't get this kind of stuff back to back, side to side, without that meaning something.
Mhm.
There's so many layers. That's why I call it, these are historical epic times. The political upheaval, the earth upheaval. We got fires here, earthquakes there, hurricanes, all kind of stuff. This is the kind of stuff they wrote about in the Bible. Not that I'm a Christian, but sometimes there's some wisdom in all documents. Just saying.
Exactly. And see, the thing is that earthquake traveled because it started in. I'm not sure exactly where it started at, but I think it started like in one of those southern states, and it traveled all the way up the East Coast. Like it started like in maybe like the bottom of Virginia and climbed all the way up into like Maine somewhere. Like it traveled.
Whoa.
And that's scary because it's like because that means we're sitting on a fault.
And that means it can break off.
Exactly. And if that happens, oh, we in trouble.
We are in trouble. That ain't good. I'm trying to get my boat up on the second floor and be prepared to inflate that sucker to try to paddle to the other side of the coast. I mean, paddle back to the coastal part, the big coast. I did. I got even though I live on a hill, I got that little bitty. I got a boat in a box.
Mm-hmm.
Just in case. So I might need it sooner than I think if this East Coast break off.
Mm-hmm.
They even say there's a part of California that's going to break off, and there's a part of Africa that's going to break off. And if you remember geological history, they say that this whole all the land masses used to be combined into one.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Like I said, it is scary because like you don't expect to experience an earthquake on the East Coast. Like that's not something that's common. Like I'm like, has that ever happened? Because when you think of earthquakes, you think of definitely the West Coast.
Mm-hmm. There's also there was an earthquake in Kentucky a few years ago, and there was an earthquake further west too, but they were unusual places. I forgot exactly where. Mm-hmm. So things are happening.
Right.
Yeah, Pangea. That's the place I'm talking about when it was a big old landmass. Because if you look at a map of the Earth right now, you can see how all the pieces fit together.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were one landmass, and that person wrote it down. Little Miss Firecracker, Pangea. That's what it was called.
And one thing that also scared me about the earthquakes too, because remember a few years ago, and I think it was in Japan when they had them tsunamis. Because that's not that comes from those earthquakes when the earthquakes happen on the water.
That's right.
And it throws off the current and it sends all that water rushing inland. And I remember waking up one day and I turned on CNN. It was like 4 a.m. and I saw it, and I'm literally looking at a live feed of all that water literally running through the entire town. And it's like no way you can stop it because they sit on a lot of flat land and hills. Mm-hmm. So it's like going through flat lands, going up and down hills. It looked like one big dirty water slide.
That's right. And it was, oh man, that was something. And they said that the Japan was used to that. So they built things to accommodate that because they prepare for it. But to look at that on TV is something you won't forget.
Yeah.
I don't think my little boat will help with that.
I doubt it. They say when it comes to that, you just need to like go to higher ground.
Or make yourself right with the hereafter. Always stay right.
But anyway, let's go on to the next topic. And I think we're going to enjoy this as well as the chat. And that's the topic of Les Moonves. Again.
Okay, who's he again?
He was the CEO of CBS.
Oh, yeah.
Julie Chen's husband. I'm sorry. Julie Chen Moonves, that's what she wants to call herself.
The hypocrite family.
Exactly. Well, it's pretty much been reported that he is now out of his position as CEO over at CBS because 6 more women came forward and said that he sexually assaulted them and did things of the nature. So now his total is up to 12. And based on what I was hearing, he did the same thing to them that he did to Janet Jackson, saying if they didn't, accept his advances and things of that nature, that he would ruin their careers, which lets me know that he probably tried something with Janet behind the scenes and she didn't go for it. And that's what ended up happening. Because with the whole Super Bowl thing, when Justin Timberlake had pulled the top off and exposed her breasts, they said he gave a tearful apology. And then when she apologized, he felt there wasn't a big enough apology.
Yeah.
For him.
I do. I wish he had got better justice. I wish more worse things happened, but because he did a lot of damage to her, and I don't think that him getting tossed out of CVS is enough. He had a golden parachute, even though the women are going to probably take that money. I think a lot worse should happen because I don't like the double set of rules. I mean, to me, they need to just keep Bill Cosby's name out their mouth completely.
Exactly. Because that they pretty much are trying. Well, at this point, they're not even trying. They have made Bill Cosby the quote unquote poster person for what they deem as a massive sexual assault type of person. I said I have not come across personally, but stories where where it's been people that have done way worse than Bill Cosby could ever be accused of, because we don't believe that he even did an ounce of the stuff that they're accusing him of.
I believe that my real opinion about him is that in those days, women would throw themselves at men, okay? And anything that he did do, it was consensual.
Right.
I believe that it was consensual if he did do anything. I don't believe he did anything to them that they didn't want to do or imply that they wanted to do. I don't believe for 1 second he imposed on those women. I think they went in his dressing room, took some drugs with him, and got ready to make out. And I think that's what they wanted to do. You have to work real hard to get to a performer's dressing room. You don't get that. Is not something that regular people can go to. And the performers have screeners, or people who protect their dressing room. So if you get past the screener, you have told that screener in so many words and actions that you want to have sex with them, or that you are down with whatever happens in there. That is not an easy place to get to. Okay. Right. So that's why I'm saying that's consensual, and not only consensual, they insisted on it in some level. So that's a different standard. They're playing games, and it's all about a setup. And to me, it's obvious.
Exactly. It really is. Notice you don't hear about Harvey Weinstein anymore.
That's because it's part of the setup. See, they write the books, they write the papers, they write the newscasts. They own all of that. They put what they want to on there. And what they don't want to put on there is the truth. So we're doing the right stuff right here because we're using stuff that's under our control, putting out the truth. But it's not enough. But we're making a beginning.
And what's so interesting even more about this Les Moonves thing is they said he made a $20 million donation to Me Too. Now, I've kept my foot on their necks.
Yeah. That's another bunch of hypocrites.
I don't plan on pulling it off anytime soon.
Yeah, because they're a big old game too.
Right.
Because they're not
consistent. And see, the thing is, he was supposed to get this $100+ million severance package, to leave CBS. 20 million of it is supposed to come from that donation. But they said that if the 12 women that accused him, if they do a settlement, he's not going to get any of that money.
But that's not going to affect the money he's already got.
Of course not. Somebody had looked up his net worth. They said his net worth is $700 million. I said he's good.
Exactly. And this little hypocrite of a wife is standing by her man.
After she said to Camille Cosby that she was wrong and that she should leave him.
That's right.
And she confirmed that on Big Brother when she said, "I'm Julie Chen Moonves." I'm like, hold on. Where was this last name all the other years? Now this is a form of you standing by your man.
The hypocrisy knows no bounds. They not even ashamed. I mean, they not even ashamed of the level of his hypocrisy.
Mm-hmm.
I would at least be ashamed to say that, or at least, you know, try to backtrack a little bit, but no, she's standing by her man and don't care what you think.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a message to all other black women. Don't listen to them tell you what to do about your family.
Exactly.
Okay?
Camille Cosby know what she's doing.
Yes.
And I'm sure Bill Cosby is not in her ear telling her anything that she probably doesn't even know what she needs to have needs to be doing. And I think what was even more sad about the situation, because their daughter died early this year.
Yeah.
And it's a shame that he was going through all of that, both of them, to be honest, and couldn't really mourn their daughter's death the way that they wanted to, because it got clouded with all these allegations and scandals. And I'm like, they are probably counting down the days till this man dies. And speaking of counting down the days, he gets sentenced this week.
Oh.
Yeah, Nicole, from Nicole's view, I'm sure she's going to be all over it because she's been following this case heavily. But he gets sentenced, I think, on the 24th, if I'm not mistaken. I think that it's like a 2-day thing. So I think it's the 24th and the 25th. So get ready for another media circus.
Yeah, but they really do need to keep his name out of their mouth, because he is nowhere near what they do. Not even close.
Nowhere near.
The biggest rapist in the world is going to tell somebody else what to do. Because
Exactly.
they have raped continent to continent, country to country, consistently worldwide. So they don't even have credibility to talk about what somebody else does.
That's why I said that Columbus Day is nothing more to me than that must be National Celebrate a Rapist Day. I don't think
unfortunately.
I don't think anybody has raped more than Columbus than him and his crew. I mean, how do you manage to rape and destroy an entire nation? Like, they literally brought down their population from like 10 million down to 2.
Yeah.
In just a couple of years.
In part because of that contact and the diseases that they brought over and the horror.
Mm-hmm.
They massacred people, continent shore to shore.
Mm-hmm.
And they did it in the name of good, according to them. So these are the world's biggest rapists from country to country. They have annihilated people. There are people that are extinct because of their actions. So if you don't have room to talk, you shouldn't talk.
Exactly. They're full of it. Point blank period. And that's why I actually applaud the natives, because a couple years ago they said that we're going to change this day to our liking, and we're going to call it National Indigenous Day.
Okay. I wish they had took off some more, because this is the first time I ever heard of that one.
Yeah, like they said that they're going to call it National Indigenous Day, and to acknowledge themselves. It don't matter. That's why I say, when it comes to us, we don't need a calendar to acknowledge stuff for us. Like, when May 19th come up, I celebrate Malcolm X Day.
Yes.
Especially for more than one occasion, because he's a Taurus like me.
Oh. I look at June 18th and 19th as Juneteenth. I don't think that's on the calendar either.
Actually, one year I remember when Juneteenth was on the calendar, and it shocked me that it was there, but I haven't seen it since. But this was like maybe 2 years ago, and I haven't seen it since.
We should make that a bigger holiday and just take off anyway, and then they'll ask why all the black people are gone, and we'll tell them. Then they'll put it on the calendar.
I mean, the only calendar I can see Juneteenth being on is if it's like one of those black created calendars, like those Afrocentric calendars.
Yeah, but if we take what we want, they'll bend. I
That's
saw
why
him put
also too, that's
Kwanzaa
why
on the
also
calendar.
too, also I declared that I forgot what day it is, but whatever day Micah Johnson did what he did, I declared that as a holiday. Gavin Long, when he did what he did, I declared that as a holiday. And
Sound
two,
like you take off from work a lot.
Chris, Chris Dorner, when he did what he did back in February, I gave him a day as well.
Uh-huh. So you call in taking leave.
Well, if I'm lucky and it falls on the weekend, then I'll have to call in. But if it happens to fall on a day that I work, then I'll send them that little slip. I won't be in that day.
Yeah, see, because well, we live in the same area, so we know DC and how it
Exactly.
is, how they roll.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I died when you were writing about the KKK people coming to this
Oh,
area.
yeah, and it wasn't even a lot of them.
No, they
That was
chickened
a
out.
that was a failed attempt at trying to scare people. A huge, epic fail.
I think they were embarrassed, and they left
Right.
their little sheets and things and pillowcases, went home, went
Mm-hmm.
somewhere else, embarrassed themselves. Because there are certain subway lines they knew, I think they suspected they shouldn't get on.
Oh, like I said, come across Anacostia if you want to.
I
it's
wouldn't
a wrap.
recommend it.
It's a wrap if you do that.
I would like to see the video feed of what happens, but I wouldn't recommend getting on the green line.
Right, exactly. Because they probably what it is come over to Berry Farms if you want to. They haven't gentrified it all yet. It's still black people there.
And they crazy black people. Now on the
Oh yeah.
subways, they're calm and nice, and everybody trying to get home. But there's some lines you don't cross.
Like
There are some
that
things
green
you don't do.
like that green line.
No, don't mess with the green line. When you
especially
start
after a
getting up,
certain especially after a certain time.
oh heavens, no! Especially when you start getting around Southern Avenue and Naylor Road and out that. No, even
Mm-hmm.
the people in business suits would beat you down if you
Mm-hmm.
mess with them.
Exactly.
So yes, because I used to ride the green line. I knew who was on there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I still take the green line because that get to both of my jobs, I have to take the green line. Well, one of them when I'm working at the airport, I have to take the green line and then transfer over and get on the yellow line. But with the where my other job, I just ride the green line straight there.
And they're nice. Everybody on the subway is nice until you mess with them,
Mm-hmm.
or until they get tired of you acting
Mm-hmm.
stupid and messing with the
Exactly.
crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do it.
And this actually transitions into another incident that happened on the train, which is going to be our next topic of discussion. And I wonder if you saw the video. Did you see that video when that brother and that sister handled them people on that train?
Oh, that was beautiful. That was an organized beat down. They put them side by side and wore them out.
Yes. And that happened across the pond. This happened in Birmingham, not Alabama, but Birmingham in the UK, over in Europe. That was amazing. That was an amazing sight to see. The funniest part was when the chick said, "Yo, let me take off my wig."
And you saw a swish, and then girlfriend got busy.
Mm-hmm. I said in the video, I say whenever a woman, especially a black woman, says she's about to take off her earrings, or she's taking off her shoes, or she's going to take off her wig, that means a beatdown is about to ensue. Now she took off everything. I think she left the earrings on, but she didn't have her shoes on and she didn't have her wig on, and she went in. And as soon as she got to that third hit, that white guy reached over, and it's like as soon as he reached his hand up,
That's right.
I saw flew. He didn't run over. It's like he just flew and landed that punch straight into his jaw.
He teleported.
Right, like he moved
Missed.
fast. Like he moved fast.
That was beautiful. But he had her back.
Exactly.
That's the way it's supposed to go.
And that's all that mattered.
That is the way it's supposed to go. Girlfriend was handling her business, and she had to turn her back to wail on this person. Still ain't sure what it was, but She had to turn her back and get busy. She done got ready. She done put on her uniform, her beat down clothes. That's when you take off what what you need to. And she was getting ready to wail on him. And the man reached forward, and as soon as his arms reached over her shoulder, he was in a fight for his life, a fight for his lip, because boyfriend busted him up, and he was a little guy. Both of them were smaller than their opponents.
Yeah, because the person that she was fighting had height on her.
Yes, but she didn't have viciousness.
She did all of that barefoot. And the other best part of the video was when she delivered that last kick straight to her face. Barefoot.
That was pretty. It was beautiful. And then they whooped them, had them side by side, beating on them. That was funny as heck.
But I'm glad we actually got a reasoning as to what it was, because if we didn't get a reason, you already know mainstream media would have spun it to their own narrative and said they were being violent for no reason. The reason why they fought is because that white person threw food at her.
Actually, that was why she was talking to him. She fought because that white person followed her up the aisle and was messing with her. When she walked forward and away from the fight, she was basically walking away. That person came behind her and kept going. Then, after that is self-defense.
Exactly. And notice that people were just sitting there, just like, like they like, this is just a regular day.
They got out the way politely.
Right.
With that little calm smirk on their little faces. And
but you
got
want to
that
know,
shit out the
know
way.
what's so funny now that I look at it now? That white couple did, when they move actually kind of caught, like, I don't know why I didn't catch it then, but I catch it now. When she was fighting, they were just whatnot. But when the brother flew over and the white guy and went in on him, so that's when they got up and moved.
That's true. And he did. He wore him out. And he was a little guy. He was a tiny man. He was not a big guy.
Exactly. Because I think that white guy probably had a little bit of weight onto him than the black guy did.
Yeah, he did. He in any other context, if they were equal players, the white guy in logic should have won because he was just bigger, but he wasn't better. He got his butt whooped all up inside the wall, in the chair, beat down, in the little thing, side by side. I mean, that's bad when you're getting a beat down side by side. I was rolling. I thought it was funny. It was hysterical.
And notice, and that was an all on cold moment, because at the end of the video, when it was a black guy that broke it up, but notice he guided the black people to the other side of the train and just left the white people by themselves.
Yeah. I still kind of think of him as a silent coon, but okay.
Like he actually guided the people that did the ass whooping and not the people who got the ass beat.
Yeah.
In most situations, you would think it would be the other way around, but not in this instance.
Because they were still on their feet. Oh man, that was pretty. But that's what it should be. That's what it should be. Was he her boyfriend, or did he know her? I couldn't tell.
Somebody said that in the comments that they knew each other, because when she took her wig off, she gave it to him.
Okay.
In which I'm sure the wig probably ended up somewhere else when he went in on that guy, because he definitely didn't have a wig in his hand when he was going in on that white guy.
But he had her back, and they were on code. And that's the way it should be. People remember that, folks. This should be the norm, not the exception. Really. Because it could have gone down a lot different if he stood there. If they knew each other, he couldn't have never spoke to her again if he didn't jump in, of course. But I think he would have jumped in if they were strangers.
Just like what happened in Florida with the pregnant woman.
Oh yeah. Yes. I like that. Only flaw was toward the end when she was getting between the aggressor and the guy, that her defender, that was putting both of them in danger to me. But for the rest of it, it was beautiful. He came out of wherever he was going and started defending the sister. I
And I was
like that.
the thing that shocked me was finding out that he was 60.
What?
I know, like I thought he was like at least 40.
I knew he wasn't young.
I know I could tell he wasn't young, but I didn't know he was. I didn't know he was 60.
Wow.
Yeah, like that guy is 60, but you can tell like he has a young spirit. Well,
He sure does.
he definitely looks young. He is the definition of black and cracking anytime soon.
I know he wasn't playing. He was not playing, and he was gonna stand his ground. You know, technically, what I was thinking was that if he had a shot that guy, he would have been within his rights according to Florida law.
Exactly.
You
And
know that?
technically he could have. And technically he could have because
That's
that
right.
white guy hit him first.
That's right.
That was assault. He hit him first, and it looked like from a distance, it looked like the black guy didn't even try hitting him, and that white guy just jumped up and down and started spazzing like a kid throwing a tantrum because he didn't get his way.
He did that.
He blacked his eye real quick because when he turned around, you could see the ring right around his eye.
He just whacked him one. But that's how they fall around, though. And we think it's fake, but they really can't stand up when they get the shit knocked out of them. I mean, get the poop knocked out of them. They are kind of pitiful when they get the heck knocked out of them. I think he really was staggering and falling that far. But I also think that the man was delusional because he turned 2 seconds later talking about he didn't hit him.
Exactly. And so the thing is, he didn't know that it was another black woman there recording it until she made her presence be known. And she didn't stop recording either. Like she just like, nah. She said, I've been recording the whole time. But like I said, another funny part of that video was when he looked over to that other white guy and he said, like he has a gun. He has a gun. He's like, so it's legal.
That was funny as heck too. But that man was ready to hurt that lady. You can't tell me that man wasn't getting ready to hurt that lady.
He was prepared to do something. He didn't care if she was pregnant or not. You can tell she was like a few months pregnant. Like her belly was definitely visible.
But he was up in her face real aggressively, right?
Yeah.
And if he's got that much rage to hit a man, you can't tell me he wouldn't have hit her.
And notice where he hit him at in his side, which is probably the side he probably would hit her at. He probably would have did something that malice to hit her in the stomach.
Yes. And so, that man probably saved her and the child.
Oh, most definitely. In.
But now that you told me he's 60, that's telling me something. He's an old school brother.
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. He is definitely from the old school.
But young cats, look at that as an example, okay? Keep yourself safe, mind you, but there are women out there who don't even have any survival skills that need your help sometimes. Right. Please step in. And
speaking of, say it again.
I said, and I asked my sisters to step in too. Whenever we see each other needing help in a situation like that, since we're getting attacked by random people, we all need to step in. Just watch each other's back.
Right. Because that was a perfect on-code moment right there from every angle.
Yes.
And Hood Mistress, it's funny you wrote that in the comment section because that was what we was going to talk about next. Did you see that video where that white woman, I think this too happened in Florida. I swear Florida stayed messing up. But it was in Florida where this white woman tried to attack these two black women with a taser.
I didn't see that. What happened?
So this white woman, like she literally looked like she was completely off her rocker. Like she was fighting the demons of meth with inside her body, going at these two black women with this taser. But the thing is, you could tell she was scared because she has a taser in her hand. These two black women don't have any kind of weapon on them, at least nothing visible. And she's trying to tase them, but she's throwing the taser, but she's moving backwards towards her car as the black women are coming towards her. Now, I don't know what the white woman did to him, but she must have did something for them to come at her like that. She gets in her car. Now, logic would tell you when you got in your car to just drive away. She wants to get in her car and still be confrontational with these women in her car.
Okay.
I said, wrong move, because now you made yourself vulnerable. And then she had the window down.
No, no.
That black woman ran up on her as soon as she got in that car and started wailing on her. And then she said, and then that's when she tried to drive, but it was too late then. She opened up that door and dragged her out of that car and whooped her ass.
Sometimes it just got to be like that, you know?
Mm-hmm. She almost pulled her out. She almost pulled her out of that window.
I gotta see that one because that sounds good.
You have to watch that. That video was intense.
But we seldom just pick on people. Now I seen them go pick on people, but most of us don't don't attack somebody for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
We don't go out our way because in our neighborhood we say it's unspoken, but we consider them company or other, and you be nice to company. So we don't go out our way to beat down outsiders for no reason.
Exactly.
It's just bad manners in our mind.
Right.
So she did something. So I would have liked to have seen the whole video of what started it, what precipitated it.
Yeah, because it pretty much starts at the point where she has the taser and she's like the way that she's like holding the taser is like the only way that taser would have been effective is if she was on close to somebody. It's not like one of those tasers the cops use where it shoots out the cord. It's one of the ones like you gotta be up on someone to stun them. And she had distance on her. Like these black women had distance. They knew not to run up on that chick while she had that taser in her hand. That would have been dumb because she probably would have tased them. Yeah. But she's walking away yelling all types of obscenities. You could barely understand. I swear that video she made the caption, and even then, it probably couldn't pick up what they were saying, what she was saying, because it sounded like a bunch of gibberish. And and when she got in the car, I said that's when you should have drove away. She got in that car and still wants to go back and forth with them while she's parked in the car with the window down. I said, well, you just literally welcome them coming and just going in on you, and you welcome that. And I'm like you said, I'm almost certain it was something that she did.
Well, I know she was writing checks that her butt couldn't cash so far. You know, sometimes them selling wolf cookies don't work. Sometimes people pick them up for you. And sound like that's what happened.
That's exactly what happened.
I like that.
But okay, let's go to the next story. And I meant to do a video about it, but I said, nah, I'll wait to talk about it in this live stream. But shout out to Chris Miller. He has a new YouTube channel called Black Up India. And he did a video, and I think one of my subscribers sent this to me. He did a video about this guy out in California who is considered what I call a serial dine and dasher, where he just goes there, he goes on dates and everything like that. He racks up a bill and then he leaves. Well, if I was going to make a video about it, the title would have been Gullible Swirlers.
Ooh.
So basically in the news clip, you had this black woman who, and I think it was on CNN, who I guess was looking for a date or a man. The woman looked like she's middle-aged, probably in her 40s. And she was looking for a man to go on a date with. And she came across this guy, and I think it was on some kind of dating site. I think it was like Tinder or something like that. And she went on there. She saw his picture. Now, here was the red flag right here. She looked at a picture of him. She saw his face, but there was another picture up there too. It was like a body picture. I said the red flag should have been when you looked at the picture and it had his body in the picture, but his face was cut off. But she didn't think of it because the only thing she saw that she enjoyed about his bio was the fact that he said he liked black women. But it's not the fact that she said that he liked black women, it's how her face looked when she said it. She went into an all 32 teeth smile when it read that he liked black women. Well, they eventually met up, went on this date to this pretty lavish restaurant, and he racked up a bill of probably well over $100, probably even more. And he pulled the ultimate, you know what? I have to go to the restroom. I'll be back. You think he came back? Nope. Left her stuck there with the bill. And he's done this to a lot of women out there. I think they eventually caught him, and they said he's going to be facing a lot of jail time because of it.
What was his crime?
You said, what was it or where was it?
Why is he going to jail? I don't know the law.
I'm not sure what the actual charge was, but I think I'm not sure what you would call that as a crime.
I'm just curious. I know it's a bad thing to do, but I still don't know what the crime is. Like, you got to show me a law on that one, because people pay for meals all the time, and even though you didn't want to pay for the meal, he didn't say he was going to pay for it, or maybe he did. I don't know. So I want to know the details of what they're charging him with.
Because I'm looking at it, it says the world's worst swipe right faces 16 years in jail for dining and dashing on dates. Oh, here it is. 10 counts of extortion, fraud, and petty theft, and petty theft. So that's the crime right there.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I didn't know that was illegal. I haven't done it. I'm one of those separate checks kind of people. When I go so I ain't never done that. But
yeah,
it was bad. It sounded like they were too. It's so much wrong with that in the beginning, because she just face lighting up some dude talking about he like black women. Yeah, that's a red flag to me.
Yeah, like if anybody in the chat watched Chris's video about that, and you can see how her face lit up when she was talking about the guy, it's like, wow. You mean all it took was for some white guy? Well, I'm looking at his name, so he probably identifies as white, but his name tells me something else, that he could be foreign or something like that. But the fact that her face lit up when she said that he, in his bio, that he liked black women, I said that is a red flag in a couple of them, because that means who were his other victims?
Yep,
probably other black women. And if that is the case, then we have a problem on our hands.
There's so much stuff wrong with this whole thing. That whole thing, there's so much wrong. Her, him, and the previous women.
And it says he's been doing this for a while now too. But that also is telling him that black women are very gullible.
That's right.
I can't pull this wool over another race of woman. I can't do that to them. Let me go and see what black women are going to do. And he probably did it one time, and that was all he needed to know that he could do it again and again and again, and to the point where it became routine for him. He basically got a nice free meal on.
And what I think is that if he had been honest, he could probably have got her to pay for it outright.
Exactly.
If he had been honest, he probably would have got her to be his sugar mama. You know, if just asking. Plus, he would have got, to lay up with her if he wanted to.
Little Miss Farquhar, you said, notice they're not showing his mugshot. Yeah, they probably aren't showing his mugshot, but I have seen his picture, so I do know what he looks like.
I like what Dallas Fort Worth just said. After 400 years, we still haven't learned poop. He's right. All right, whoever Dallas, male or female, you're right. Some of us are learning, though. Some of us have learned.
Some of us have learned, but most are still kind of, they need a little bit of a boost.
Yeah, because my theory now is that the people who have learned are sort of like the mental leaders, and the masses are the followers, and these are just the sheep, the general sheep. Like, we call ourselves kings and queens, but we also have the blood of the peasants.
Yeah.
So sometimes the king and the queen manifest in us, and these are the leading people, but the kind that haven't learned, these are the regular peasants, are the regular shopkeepers and the merchants.
Exactly.
And so we're ahead. Soon as we prove ourselves that we can have a better life with these choices, these other choices that we're making, then they'll come aboard.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, they'll probably try to dictate, and we'll have to read the riot act to them and put them back, put them back and let them know that we ain't going to do things the old way no more.
Right.
So that's my theory.
Yeah, but he made off with quite a few women over the years doing what he did.
And he made off with a certain kind of woman.
Exactly. That's what makes it worse.
Yep. And he made off with these specific kind of black women who are wide open for that. And that's one of the things that are wrong. That's the inception of what's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Because he couldn't have done that to every black woman, but the ones that are vulnerable, the ones that are weak minded, there you go.
Mm-hmm. That's why a
And
lot
that,
of people don't trust those dating sites.
oh, I would never do one of those. I can't because I need to feel your energy, your spiritual energy. I can't even I'd have to meet you in person at the inception and then and feel your energy for a date because I can't date every kind of man that just shows up wanting to date me.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have the right spiritual energy for me. And I have to feel your sexual energy. So it's got to be contact for me. The dating sites don't work for me.
Right.
Although I'm an outrageous flirt, I am not serious if I was talking to you online about relationships. I'm laughing and joking with you.
But the thing is, the thing that's like I said stuck out to her was the fact that he said he liked black women in the bio. That was all she needed to see.
And that's dangerous
It
because on two levels.
because it
One
could have
is
been because it could have been more like she could have read something and said, "Oh, it said he liked black women. That's all I needed to see." But if she read it down a little bit more, it could have said, "I'm a serial killer."
she probably would have thought she could convert him.
Right.
And that's what's sad too, is because she's that vulnerable because of prior experience.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Somewhere along the line, somebody let her down
Mm-hmm.
or couldn't change her stupid butt. And so she was already vulnerable. Okay. It takes a certain kind of woman to be vulnerable for that. And that life experience left her wide open.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many things wrong with that whole scenario. Because you got a weak-minded sister who's stupid enough to, you know, and in her mind, she was probably trying to use him. I think the for his first victims were probably trying to use him to get a lavish meal and all of that, which is utterly stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really, really stupid. The whole scenario is stupid.
You didn't know something was wrong when they decided to go to a lavish restaurant as a first date. Mind you, that like this their first time meeting.
Mm-hmm. That's stupid. Everything about that is stupid. So many things wrong. Like whatever you ordered, you can make that. I never use food as a gauge for something because you can get food. Some man talking about taking me out to eat like I can't feed myself. That's already annoying.
Right.
I'm the wrong woman. You can tell. You know, what the hell? How do I need you to feed me? I
Exactly.
need your company. I want to see what kind of person you are. Are you a fun person to be around?
Mm-hmm.
Prove that. You know. So yeah, like I said, there's so much wrong with that scenario. All of that.
All right.
But it's so far out of my league or a scenario that applies to me, I can't even comment on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's so divorced from my reality.
All right. So the next topic we're going to discuss is well, this is like a two-in-one topic. They're the same subject, but they're two different things,
Mhm.
and that's Nike.
Oh, but Nike made a chess move.
They did make a chess move,
I
and
gotta say.
they're still moving. But the first one I wanted to talk about is this place called Kenner, Louisiana, where the mayor down there banned Nike from being sold on the property of this recreational center that's there. They don't want it anywhere being sold. Like ever since that ad went out, they don't want any Nike products being sold there.
That is hysterical.
I'm like, do they have the power to actually do that?
If they do, they have to cite the law that applies to it, where the procurement people and the franchise laws or whatever, they have to cite the chapter and verse where that's in effect, where he can do that. They may or may not have the power, but
they'll try to find a way.
They got to cite the law. Or the edict or whatever. Then it's got to be prior to him saying that. It's got to be a law that's already in effect, like the mayor has a choice of vendors or something like that, or they got to say that because that's discrimination against the product. So, they can get sued if they want to, but I think Nike would probably eat it up.
Yeah, Nike is going to eat it up and use it to their advantage. I'm almost certain of it. All because of one ad.
I like how this whole thing is like, this is so amusing. All the dynamics, it's great.
Now the other one, this one was even funnier. The other part to this Nike thing was the call center thing. Like, you had these racist people or these very upset white people calling the Nike call center and complaining to the call reps who work there about the ad. I'm like, they don't deal with that. That's the marketing department. They are the ones that put that ad out there. The people who work in the call center, they deal with like actual issues with a Nike product. Like, maybe the shoe they got wasn't the shoe that they wanted, or the shoe may have been damaged during shipping or something like that. They don't deal with the ad. And when I was reading some of them comments, like someone said, and someone actually said this, that they were actually going to leap off of a building because of the ad. I said, well, let them leap.
Then take it on videotape.
Right. So we know it's real.
I am sad that they're going to leap, but sometimes survival of the fittest, Darwin's law is relevant because you ain't mentally fit. You're going to leap off a building for a commercial. But some days, with just having a bad day. And the call center people have a script. They're not going to deviate from that script because you got a bad attitude. That's about stupid.
Like they said, they got a high volume of calls after that ad went through, asking them, why did they put the ad out there, or why can't they pull it down? I said, that's the marketing department. They put the ad out there and only they can pull it down, and they're not going to pull it down because y'all are helping them make money. I said, if you don't want them to make money, it's simple. Don't buy any Nike products and don't complain about Nike on social media. They made $43 million 48 hours after the ad was posted.
What?
10 million of that money came from bad press.
Whoa. That's a chess move.
So every time you had them idiots on there burning their shoes or talking bad about Nike, they were making money.
Because it's free advertisement right there.
Exactly. It's free advertisement.
Ooh, they did good.
But, these are the people that have a so-called high IQ.
And they're patriots.
Right. Or I like to call them fake patriots.
I like it.
It's wild.
I'm impressed. I am impressed all around. Okay.
Like people said in the chat, Nike's demographic as far as purchasing goes is mostly black people. Notice the shoes that them white people were burning were some shoes we never heard of. Like, these were not some Air Maxes. These were not Jordans or anything like that. These were like gardening shoes.
They burning their ugly shoes.
They burning some ugly shoes that ain't nobody heard of. They burning something that came off the clearance rack at Wally World.
Oh, man, that ain't impressive. I thought they were really burning up some Nikes. They burning up junk. They done dug out stuff at the secondhand store.
Right. Or they probably went and got some Nikes that they never bought, but they haven't worn in years and probably forgot all about and said, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and burn these Nikes and stuff. I said, since y'all cared about the veterans so much, why didn't y'all donate y'all shoes?
Yeah. They probably too old to even donate. They done dug out some old shoes.
And then some of them are so dumb talking about, well, I'm gonna go and get me some Converses. I'm like, you idiots. Nike owns Converses.
Don't tell them. Don't let them know. Keep it a secret. We'll whisper about that one. Well, these high IQs, it's hard living with a high IQ sometimes. Everybody else is stupid when you got a high IQ. Nike, I'm impressed all around. They did good. They couldn't have done a better thing. I wonder whoever thought of that should have just got a bonus because they earned that when they put him on that thing. Whoever thought about putting him in the advertising department, they deserve a bonus for that. So do the call center people.
I would almost demand some kind of increase in a check if I had to work in the Nike call center around the time all of that stuff was happening, because I'm sure them people left out of there with a mean headache or a migraine. They probably wanted to quit.
Because they can't deviate from their script. They got talking points that they have to reach when when somebody calls with a certain scenario that's the normal scenario, they got to go through their little talking points. And the script don't have nothing about somebody complaining about a commercial.
Exactly.
They don't know what to do. So yeah, they need a bonus too. And so do their advertising department. That was ingenious. The whole thing. That's a chess move.
All right. The next topic I wanted to talk about was, and this is pretty obvious, and there's a reason why I waited until later to talk about it. But what's going on down there in Texas, in Dallas?
Oh.
I tell you this story, I said it just keeps getting more weirder and weirder by the day.
Yeah.
So the most recent thing that came out was them saying that they found marijuana in his apartment. Like that really means anything. I said I already know what they're trying to do.
Yes.
They are trying to, victim shame the whole thing and make it seem like it was his fault. I'm like, who doesn't or has not smoked weed at least once in their life?
And the people judging, the people, that's us. Everybody's got to have a clean house of marijuana. I do. But everybody that's got his marijuana use in mind, they got to look in their own closet.
Right.
And the second thing is, did y'all check her house? That's the house that matters.
I'm glad you said that. They haven't checked her house. It's like they're not digging. They refuse to dig for anything that can, smudge her.
So they're trying to vilify him.
And victimize her. And even though it came out that last year she had used her gun and killed somebody, they said it was some kind of a suspect. But ironically, that suspect that she killed, they weren't white, but they weren't black either. So we're just going to say non-black POC.
So she's obviously gun happy.
Right. And the family even came out and said that they didn't know each other.
Good. I'm glad they didn't know each other. Whose family? Hers or his?
His. Please. I wouldn't take a word of whatever her family had to say because they probably lying too.
Yeah.
But then there was a whole bunch of other stuff too. Then not only did they talk about the weed, but then they're talking about loud music.
Still not something to get shot about.
Right.
Complain to the landlord about music.
Exactly. If you got a noise complaint, you go to the landlord and let the landlord deal with it.
Lady walked in his house and shot him.
So how many lies have we heard so far? The one about saying it was her apartment, that was the first one. The one about the key, the one about the door being open, now the one about the weed, and then the one about the loud noise. Am I missing any?
It's all trying to, but they're still trying to get her off. Every one of those scenarios you just mentioned is about trying to get her off of killing them.
Exactly.
but she still walked in the man's house and killed him.
Exactly.
That's the bottom line, the only line.
And I had saw somebody had posted a diagram of his apartment, and she had to walk in pretty far to get in, because they said when he was shot, it was shot at an angle because they found the bullet hole in the wall near where I think his kitchen is, and
What?
so she had to come in pretty far.
So that lie ain't even holding up.
So because they shot at an angle. She
Because
shot
she's walking around in somebody else's house that don't look like her house, but she's too stupid to know that it's not her house.
and shot in the dark.
She can see him, but can't see the furniture.
Exactly. Like you thought it was your house, but you don't recognize your furniture.
Well, he's a thief that moved in really fast.
Imagine that you walk in and you see all the pictures hanging on the wall that aren't yours.
I think that that's going on premeditated murder. I used to think that it was if she did indeed have an accident, that may make it manslaughter. But in any other context with any other person, that would be manslaughter, and you would be going to jail for manslaughter. But they're trying to get her out of that
Yeah, they're trying their best to try to make her walk.
because she's an officer and she's white.
Mm-hmm.
And they might be trying, but it's so obvious.
Right, little Miss Firecracker. She said witnesses came forward to the attorney and it debunked her story. Because they said she was banging on the door and things like that. I'm like, if the door is open, then why are you banging on it saying "let me in"?
Right. And if there was a lie saying it was open, why are you banging on the door?
Exactly, the door is open.
She needs to go to jail for a
I
long
would like
time.
what I would like. Well, if they're not tainted, what I would like to see is some surveillance cameras that
I
show
would
her,
like that.
like,
Yes.
because that's one thing we haven't seen yet is some surveillance cameras. And I know they got security cameras on every floor. I need to see what happened from the time she walked from her apartment to his. But you know what? That's why I said if it isn't tainted, because you already know that they are going to go in and they are going to somehow edit those videos to make us see something that is not clear.
Mm-hmm. Because they're trying to get her off. They are doing their best to get her off of this. But in any other context, in any other situation, that would be manslaughter. No matter what the excuse. If you got a good excuse, that's involuntary manslaughter, yet that's still manslaughter because you did walk into somebody's house and kill them.
Remember what happened last year with Muhammad Noor?
I don't remember what happened.
The cop who shot that white woman, Justine Kuznick, but they call her Justine Damon.
I don't remember. Go ahead.
He was the cop. I think it was in Minneapolis or somewhere. I think it was in Minnesota somewhere. It was somewhere in the Midwest, and he had shot and killed her because basically she wasn't minding her business. Not so much of that, but he thought that she was like a person they were looking for, and they shot and killed her. Now Muhammad Noor is a Somali American. Now, in most circles, he would be just considered a black guy.
Uh-huh.
And they literally went in trying to get this guy on anything they possibly could. And he had a partner there. His partner is white. Now, notice in the story, they never released the name of his partner or the identity. That's it. That's because his partner is white. They didn't release his info until like maybe 2 or 3 weeks later.
I vaguely remember something about that.
But she wasn't even born here. She's from Australia, and she was about to get married. But they literally were trying their best to try to get him on anything. I haven't heard anything as of lately, but I don't think they're going to actually charge him with anything because they're saying it was just an honest mistake. But they noticed that they were literally digging, trying to get him on something. Now with her and now with this Amber Geiger chick in this situation, it's the complete opposite because the victim is black, the perp is white, and she's a white woman.
Yeah. uh, what's his name, S798 saying it was an initiation, and I've heard that too. S798 or 79B. Yeah, I've heard that it was some kind of initiation too. I do know that she shot first and
Mm-hmm.
went through a lot of effort to shoot,
Mm-hmm.
and apparently she had shot somebody else. So that's gun happy. I can't say whether it's in this. We won't never be able to know for sure, but that's what it's possible. I have to say it's possible,
Exactly.
especially with the way they're trying to get her off
Yeah, they are trying everything that they can to have her walk.
when she
I
should
said,
be in jail, and if not, the electric chair.
I said, if this woman by some whatever happens to walk, I said the spirit of Michael Johnson needs to rise up out of the people that's down there in Texas and go ham.
Yeah, and please don't be talking about forgiveness. Nobody. You know, they usually have the relatives come on TV talking about forgiveness.
Mm.
I get so tired of that. I can't forgive you for hurting my family. Hmm. We'll see. We'll keep it. We'll stay on that and keep looking.
Oh, they're gonna make sure that we do, thanks to social media, because that's basically almost how I be finding out most of the updates as it pertains to this story.
Actually, social media for news is pretty good.
That's how I find out about a lot of my stuff that I bring to y'all. It's from social media.
Yeah, I don't have no complaints about social media and news. They got the relevant stuff. There are people telling it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's insightful.
Mm-hmm.
So many of the people that I listen to are insightful. I like that. And that's what I like about social media. And it's free speech.
Mm-hmm.
You get a chance to tell your side of the story without listening to the TV shows and networks giving you their spin.
Right.
I like that. I really do. So we'll keep watch. We'll keep an eye on this.
Okay. Well, the next thing I wanted to talk about is 45 and these recent comments that he made as it pertains to Puerto Rico. So he said that it was like 3,000 people that got affected by Hurricane Maria last year, and they're actually still very affected by it. Like a
Hmm.
lot of them are still very displaced. And he came out and he said the reason why that is why that is because of the Democrats.
Oh yeah, saying we're trying to make him look bad.
He said that the Democrats are trying to make me look bad with this 3,000 number. I said he does a very good job of making himself look bad every time he opens his mouth.
Yeah, nobody can top that. He's an expert at that.
Right. And that's not all. That's not all he did. And shout out to Lisa because she did a video about this. So it turns out that there was some money missing from FEMA. $10 million missing from FEMA. It turns out that and I'm almost certain he had an involvement in it, even if they say he didn't, transferred, or they say transferred, stole $10 million from FEMA to fund ICE to get the immigrants out of the establishment.
That's impressive.
That's why I said I wouldn't be surprised if he was the one behind it, because who wants those immigrants gone more than him?
In his base.
In his base.
That is messed up on so many levels. But with Trump, I'm not surprised.
Mm-hmm.
And I put this out. If he colluded with the enemy state,
Mm-hmm.
Russia, against America, I would argue that that's treason.
Oh, most definitely.
the next step in this treason, anybody that helped him try to cover it up or obstruct the investigation for an act that turns out to be treason are also collaborators.
You see
That's
what
about 40% of the Republican Party.
you see what's going on now with like Paul Manafort and all of them, right?
Hmm.
All of that stuff is starting to come to the surface. I call the 45 administration, I call it the clown car cabinet.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what it is. It's ran like a three-ring circus, and Trump is basically a combination of the ringmaster and the head clown rolled into one.
Yes. And he's also a person whose strings are being pulled.
Yeah. Almost definitely. He definitely is a huge figurehead. No doubt about that. He is not running anything. Somebody's running him.
Hmm. And we in trouble. This is bad because the people who are supposed to be protecting us are selling us out. Like the thief is in the house or the murderer is in the house. You know, who you going to call? So,
now people want to know who some thugs are. There they are right there. I always say your biggest thugs are the ones who are wearing suits and carrying briefcases.
yep. And got an ink pen.
Yeah, and you know he loved to sign stuff off and show it to the world and show that he signed something. He used to kill me when he used to sign them documents and put it up like he was doing something special.
Because he's crazy. He bless his heart. He's well, you know, I ain't gonna say bless nothing on him, but he's completely out of his mind. He know he out of his mind. I think his daughter was put there to try to keep him away from the cell phone and the tweet. She can't keep up with him. So he's just basically a person who's not in his right mind, running around loose with the nuclear codes.
Mm-hmm.
And like I was saying, if anybody in government try to obstruct or cover up the investigation, that makes them co-collaborators in something that might be treason. That means they're equally accountable. That's about 40 or 50%, if not more, of the Republican Party that's in Congress. What are we going to do?
Well, I have a feeling this all going to implode on itself.
Okay. Because that's basically our government falling.
That's exactly what is going to fall. The house of cards is starting to crumble, and it is what it is.
Family, make sure you stock up on food. Get yourself a little garden like I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get me a little home garden in the house because I can't do outside. And gotten stockpiling beans and rice in case our distribution networks get interrupted while our country falls apart. And for Putin, he can't lose no matter what happens.
Oh yeah, he's
laughing at us.
Putin is the puppet master.
Yeah, I think so too.
And or, he's laughing at us. Or at least one of them.
Yeah.
Because I have a feeling someone's pulling his strings too.
But whoever's pulling his strings are powerful and tough because he's a aggressive male who's dangerous.
Because my nickname for politicians is lie trick. Because they lie and they trick people all the time.
Yes.
And I'm trying to figure out why does 45 keep going on all these pep rallies?
Because they're the only people that like him.
Exactly. Like he stayed going on some kind of pep rally somewhere.
Yes. Those
like
rallies.
Almost like he's still campaigning.
That's all he knows how to do. You know? And those are the only people that like him. They have a good old time with each other. Him and them. Because they're crazy.
And then unfortunately, sometimes you be seeing some black people in the background and they still got like a sore thumb.
They go hunt all the black people and put them on the stage. Exactly. It's only those two.
Right.
Right. They find them and put them on stage.
Mm-hmm.
And I swear, I think they even pay them.
Probably.
Yeah, they find them. They hunt them down. They showing up just to see what's going on. Next thing you know, they on stage. Get a sign.
I guess.
Yes. And they
Um,
got Hispanics that voted for Trump.
mhm. The next topic I wanted to talk about, and this is more on the entertainment side, but it brought a little bit of controversy, and I actually posted about it on my channel yesterday. And I don't know if you saw it, but it was rumors circulating around that Michael B. Jordan was asked to play Superman.
Oh,
N-
yeah, I saw that.
Now it was like a mixed. Now when I was looking through my comments, it was a mixed reaction between my subscribers. Some people said they will be for it. Some people was like, nah, they were completely against it, and some people were kind of neutral with it, like they were really kind of undecided. Well, with my stance on it, I was saying that the petty side of me says do it so it could piss these Neander nerds off, but the business side of me says like I don't think that would be a good idea to be Superman, even though there was a black Superman that was created in an alternate universe, but nobody really knows about him. It's not like he's John Stewart's version of Green Lantern and people know who that is. I was saying like some people were even saying, I wish I had mentioned this in the video, that there are other black superheroes that have been created that have not been put on the big screen yet, and why not do one of them? Now mind you, it's just a rumor, is nothing confirmed. Michael B. Jordan probably don't even know that this rumor is circulating around. He may or he may not. So it's not saying that he's going to do it. It's just a rumor, and it was like put out there as an idea. But what I
Hmm.
thought was interesting, like I said in the video, is that they came up with like 4 or maybe 5 individuals that they wanted to do it, including himself, but he was the only black guy that they threw into that lineup.
Okay. My position was, like I said before, in a comment, I like to comment, that I'm against it. I don't want a black guy playing the Superman unless it's unless it's like you said, an alternate universe and such. Because I would feel bad if a white man played Black Panther. I
Mm-hmm.
would feel bad if a white man played any of the black characters like Blade. So
Yeah.
I like for it to stay true to the premise, and I
Right.
just trying to be fair. But like Green Lantern, and I think one or the other ones can alternate characters because they are a succession of characters. That's fine because anybody can be one of the succession of characters. But yeah, I was against it.
And I'm seeing some people in the chat saying a Static Shock.
I like Static Shock.
I did. I watched the cartoon when I was younger.
I
But,
love that.
but the only reason I wouldn't say Michael B. Jordan to play that is because Static is a teenager.
Yes.
Michael is like he's like in his early 30s. It'll be hard to convince people that he's a teenager.
Yeah.
People know how old he is. So
I like Static being a teenager.
So I would. That's like asking. That's like asking him to play Miles Morales. No one would believe that. And for those of y'all who don't know, Miles Morales is the Black Spider-Man, and because they're teenagers, I would say just get a like if you wanted a Static movie, get a young, fresh, black male actor who's like high school age or can look high school age to play that part. Because years ago, it was rumored that Jaden Smith was going to play Static.
I was just thinking about him as Static.
A lot of people was actually for it. But
he got to prove to me that he's got street,
But of course, it never. Unfortunately, it never happened.
Jaden, I don't pick up street on him, urban. I don't pick up the street vibe from him. I pick black male, and I pick and like he was good on Karate Kid or whatever that was. He was great in that, but I don't get that. Will Smith got some more street vibe than Jaden does.
Mm-hmm. But you gotta think, Will Smith, he's from West Philly. He's from the hood.
Yeah.
So he knows what that's like. His kids don't know what that is like because they've pretty much grown up in a lap of luxury.
Okay.
So the most Will could ever do is take his kids back to where he grew up from, but it's not like they actually got to live there.
And they couldn't walk down the street and somebody would think that they are local.
Well, first off, if they was walk down the street, they'll automatically know who they are.
Yeah.
They'll know who they are.
But you know what I mean. They don't have that local street vibe. They he don't. Not to me.
Hmm.
I can't think of a teenager that maybe one of the young rappers or something. That's a Static Shot vibe, because Static Shot was so street. That's what I liked about him.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be like interesting to see if it actually happened. I think a lot of black people gravitate towards that character because it was a black character that was created by a black artist. Dwayne McDuffie, God rest his soul, Milestone Comics.
Okay.
Because a lot of people thought that Static was a DC character, but he wasn't. He was created by Milestone Comics, but DC liked the character so much that they ended up buying the rights of the character. While Dwayne McDuffie still was able to profit off of it when it came on. I mean, when it came on Kids WB,
I do too.
and that's when I used to watch it every Saturday. Because remember, Lil Romeo did the theme song.
Yes, that was a nice theme song. It was right up there.
Yeah. And you know, like I said, I used to watch it every Saturday. I said, man, I wish I had. I used to always pretend. I used to go outside sometime and get a trash can and pretend I was flying because you know he. I said
that's right.
That's what made Static, like he said, so street. His hover, the thing he flew on
was a trash can lid.
It was a lid.
And you know, I got the theme song in my head circulating now. Superhero Static Shot. And nobody know what I do. Da da da. That was a nice theme song.
It was.
And he did. He threw his little trash can lid right around it and jump around, and his sister. That was a great cartoon.
It was a really good cartoon, and I like also too. It's funny you mentioned the sister. It had a good family, you know, dynamic.
That's right. Love that. His father was in the house.
Exactly. Because what happened to the mother? Did she die or something like that?
I don't remember.
Because I don't think the mother was there. I'm like, did she die? Did the parents get a divorce and he had the custody of the kids? But I think the mother might have died.
It was a great cartoon all around. It had urban themes, you know, like in high school and around there. And the bad guy with the fire, the other teenager that threw the fire.
Yeah,
that was a well drawn cartoon, well animated, nice little themes. It was nice.
And okay, right. So they said the mother, she was shot and killed. She was killed.
Oh.
And you know what's also so interesting too is like Static wasn't the sidekick. They made the white boy his friend the sidekick.
That's right.
Which you rarely ever see, where you'll have the black person being the lead and the white person being the sidekick. But they made it so organic that you couldn't really tell. And even then, as time went on, the white kid, his friend, ended up building his own suit and he called himself Gear.
I remember that. That was toward the end.
Yeah, it was like more toward
excuse me. That was toward the end. He had his little outfit because he was a nerdy guy.
Yeah, he was the one that did all the tech.
And so it was a nice cartoon. And for its time, you know, today, if it was out, we would be fussing him because he had a white sidekick. Right. I wouldn't like that. We'd be fussing because he's back there doing the nerdy stuff like Static ain't got no brains, da da da. And I'll be mad about that. But for his time, it was appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
So I ain't gonna fuss. But yeah, so that would make a nice movie. Any one of those.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't even mind an updated Blade.
They actually, speaking of Blade, they're in talks of bringing Blade to Netflix and turning it into a show. And they want they want Wesley Snipes to be a part of it.
They done dug him out the attic. What they gonna put? I like Wesley Snipes being Blade. I mean, you have to be really something to top Wesley Snipes' Blade. To me, Blade 1 was a benchmark for a movie. Today, people are still doing that 3-point landing that he did in the beginning of the movie, where he had to jump down and landed with his hand on the ground and both feet on the ground in the squat.
Oh yeah, that is an iconic pose. Like if you go online and just look at pictures of Blade, that is like one of the first pictures that you will see.
That was one of the first time that move became cool.
Mm-hmm.
And it went on from there. And to this day, movies are still using that move.
Well, you know, Blade saved Marvel.
Yes. I
A
think
lot of
Tariq
people,
Nasheed was talking about that.
a lot of people don't like to mention that, but Blade saved Marvel as far as their movies go. They were still struggling, but
Hmm.
they actually saved them from going completely bankrupt.
I believe that. I believe it. I honestly believe it. I think Black Dollars saved Hollywood several times.
Like the black exploitation era, for instance.
Yes. Yes. And this black Superman thing that they're talking about, if they're talking about it, and whatever else they're talking about, they're trying to get them Black Panther dollars.
There, and I think, you know what, now that you say that, I think that they're trying to, the reason why they brought up Michael B. Jordan is they, because the Killmonger character was killed, so he's
Hmm.
not like he's bounded by a contract to still do movies with Marvel, so
Hmm.
he can flow anywhere he wants. I have a feeling that they are doing this or threw that out as an idea because they're trying to save their universe. Because if you don't remember, Ben Affleck played Batman, but he's now in rehab, so he can't play him. Henry
No.
Cavill, who's currently playing, he's still attached to the Superman role. He only played Superman 3 times: Man of Steel, Batman versus Superman, and Justice League. Man of Steel 2 should have been made because that came out in 2013. So it should have came out at least by 2015 if they were doing it on schedule. So it should have been happened before Batman v Superman and Justice League.
You're right.
It should have been done. Um, but it's like it's a whole bunch of disputes and things of that nature. Probably contract and money, of course, was always going to play a factor. So I have a feeling if they try to get Michael B. Jordan to do it, they're trying to save the universe because they know people are going to go see it regardless because he's in the role. But I don't think he's going. But I personally don't think he's going to take it, and I personally also think that he should not take it.
Well, I agree. Yeah, I agree. But yeah, this is all about trying to get our money because it's
Yeah.
going to be hard to beat that money that Black Panther made.
Oh yeah, Black Panther made a lot of money because you know what's so crazy? You have a lot of these, and I call them Neanderthals for a reason. Um, they all online talking about how Black Panther was so overrated. Notice that that's the only one that they say is overrated, even though Marvel has come out with 18, I think now 19 films. And that's the one you want to say is overrated?
And they can't even say that because a lot of the money from Black Panther are people going back.
Right. People saw it multiple times. I'm not even gonna lie. I saw it 3 times.
Okay, Black Panther's still making money, and it's on DVD now.
And it's on Netflix.
Yes, it's on Netflix. Okay, so they can't even pull off overrated because a lot of those people, those initial dollars, were people going back in. They came out, wanted to go back in there, spent some more money going back in because you only can see it once. When you go in that one time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's repeat business. You can't say overrated when you got repeat business. Now
Yeah.
you can say overrated when they're trying to do them stupid Egyptian movies with these white people in.
Oh God. They just need to stop. They just need to stop with that. I cannot take another white Egyptian. That shouldn't even be in the same sentence.
Now that's what you want to call overrated.
And notice that all of them flop.
They flopped, not just flopped, drowned, landed in the pool and sunk. Pitiful. Nobody even went to them. We did barely watch the promos on them because
Like
it was that bad.
they were terrible.
Yeah. Yes. And so you want to talk overrated? Talk about that crap.
Mm.
So, oh man, there's some terrible things out there they're trying to brainwash you with that don't work. And I am so proud of the community for not letting it work because it's just too stupid. And they can see that we didn't fall for it.
Exactly.
Nobody fell for it.
Because Black Panther has made worldwide like $1.3 billion.
That's right.
And when I last time I checked, it said it is the #3 highest grossing domestic movie of all time, behind a Star Wars movie and I think Avatar.
I agree, and I believe you, because that to me is a benchmark. Like I said, Blade was a benchmark. A lot of movies are specific movies that are benchmarks to me. When they changed to me when they changed movies that changed the movie game in that genre, like Predator 1, Matrix 1, Blade 1, Star Wars, the first movie that came out of Star Wars, that kind of stuff. Avatar is one, the one with the blue people.
Yeah.
And Black Panther's one. And there's some more, mind you. There's some more, a lot more. But they just changed the movie game to me.
Right.
Oh yes, and what's it called? Not Predator, but the one I'll Be Back, Terminator.
Oh yeah, Terminator. And by the way, speaking of Terminator and the Matrix, did you know that it was a black woman by the name of Sophia Stewart that created those franchises?
You kidding?
I kid you not. I actually am connected with somebody on Facebook who knows her personally.
Oh, that is so good.
Yeah, because originally, when the Matrix came out, it was going to be called The Third Eye.
Wow. The Matrix 1 is so good. That movie.
Because the thing is, when the first Matrix came out, I was a kid. Like, I was young, so I was just so amazed by all the effects and everything like that. But when I watched it as an adult, I see it on a deeper level. I said, this movie is deep.
It is. It was the first time they used the 3D effect when what's his name was running and they froze and the camera went around him in the 3 dimensions as he's running. That was all of those things in Matrix were benchmarks. They changed the game in science fiction.
Yeah.
Special effects. Transformers 1 did that too.
Yeah, the first Transformers. I like the first Transformers.
They changed the game.
And did you know that Will Smith was supposed to play Neo?
I'm glad he didn't. Because what's his name is just as good.
Reeves.
Yeah. I can see him doing it.
That was a good thing. Will Smith turn that down because that changed Keanu Reeves' career by a lot.
Yeah. And Will Smith would have brought too much of him in it, I think. Keanu Reeves was a good one. He was adequate for that. Sometimes a character makes a movie, and sometimes a character could ruin a movie.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm good. I'm good with that one. And that with Will Smith doing Independence Day, and Men in Black 1, those he was free to do those. And those are excellent movies.
Yeah.
Those are career changing movies.
And it's crazy how much Will Smith took off after Fresh Prince, because Independence Day came out the same year that Fresh Prince got canceled.
Yeah.
So it's like as soon as Fresh Prince was done, he made a beeline right to being a movie star.
And he's one of the top grossers.
Although he had already did like 3 movies before and during the time Fresh Prince was on.
Despite his personal life, he's a very talented actor. I say. So, because I like a number of his, it's a very few movies of his that I don't like, but I only go to the ones that I'm interested in. So I am a science fiction kind of girl. Science fiction, action, adventure, that kind of stuff. I don't go see the dramas or the romances. I barely see the comedies. I wait on the comedies. But if you got me something blowing up or somebody getting a beat down or somebody attacking something with something sharp, I'm good.
Lotus Firecracker said, why did Fresh Prince get canceled? I said, mainly because he was starting to do movies. His star was starting to rise. And he probably wanted to do more things. And, when you're doing a television show, it can kind of hinder you. And on top of that, too, ratings as well. So ratings plays a huge part as well.
Plus, he was getting older.
Yeah.
He can't pull out the goofy kid when you get going on 30.
You got to think, when Will Smith did The Fresh Prince, he was like 17 when he got started. And when the show got canceled, he was like in his mid-20s.
Yeah, he's a grown man now.
So he was still in his prime, but he wanted to do more and not be held down by that role. He wanted to do more.
And if he had stayed, he would have been typecast, and his whole career probably would have died. Because the TV show was going to get canceled eventually,
Yeah.
and what is left after you done got stuck there. So I think he did the right thing moving on and jumping into movies.
Oh, Hyuga 4477 said Enemy of the State. That is one of Will Smith's best movies.
That was good.
I don't care what anybody says. Enemy of the State is one of his best movies. Him and Gene Hackman killed that movie.
That was when he was running away, right? Or is that another one? I have to look it up.
Yeah, Enemy of the State is that one where it was somebody had put some kind of device in his pocket because I think he was a lawyer, he was an attorney, and they were looking for, and it was something very important. Like they literally damn near ruined his life.
I think he
it's a very good, when you get a chance.
I gotta redo it.
It's a really good movie.
I gotta watch that again.
Yeah, It's the Parking Lot. That movie was ahead of its time because that movie talked about a lot of stuff that's going on today.
I think science fiction is ahead of its time because sometimes we walk right into the things that they already talked about in their scenarios. I think we should watch science fiction a little bit closer sometimes because I think it gives some insights into things that are coming up. And that was one of those movies. and the Bourne thing was interesting in that regard.
I don't think I've watched any of the Bourne movies.
I'm all for a beat down. Mac Damon beat up the hell out of everybody, so I'm good. Yeah, I'm terrible about the romance stuff. I don't even look at those. And the dramas. Shoot me in the head before I watch a drama. I think I'm the only one in America that hasn't seen the Titanic.
I'm not even gonna lie, I saw it, but it was years ago. That's back. I watched it when it was still when VHSs were still popular. The movie was so long they had to split it up into two.
Oh yeah, that's right. I heard about that.
Of course, we all know part 2 was the best part, and that's when the boat was sinking. I mean that's what people came for.
Now, if it was a giant squid that got the boat, I would have saw it. But nothing. It just sunk.
Yeah, because it hit an iceberg.
Yeah. A kraken came and got it, set it on fire, and did some stuff.
I'm not even gonna lie. It was a part in that movie, and I'm kind of spoiling for you, but if you watch it, you'll see it. It was a part when the boat was sinking, and it started to tilt upwards to the point where people were starting to dangle off the boat, and the guy fell, and he hit the propeller, and his body flipped as he landed into the water.
That's just food for shark. That's not enough to make me go see it, though. Got to do it now. If everybody fell in a propeller, nah, that's still boring. Nah, I want me a kraken. Want me a spaceship or something.
Then I guess you won't. Then I guess you won't be watching it anytime soon because there was sea creatures in this. The only thing that happened was when they landed in the water, the people pretty much just froze to death.
Yeah, they then got ate by sharks, most likely, or just sunk. Rest in people, everybody on Titanic. And no shame.
It actually came out that it was actually some black people on that boat, but of course you didn't see that in the movie.
I hate that part. I don't like it. But like I say, separation, stay away. They get in trouble.
I would say Titanic was probably one of the most overhyped movies ever made.
There you go. Another overhyped movie.
I'm not even gonna lie. Like if that movie was to come on right now, I would quickly go past it because I've already seen it. I might have watched it maybe at most twice, but that's all I needed because a combination, that's 8 hours. That movie is 4 hours long. Could you imagine sitting in a movie theater for 4 hours?
Only on a marathon of good movies.
That too.
Because I have done that when they had a marathon of good movies. I forgot. Like
a festival or something like that.
Yes.
But, I couldn't, that one movie. Now, Avatar was good. Now, that movie was long, but it was good. In the 3D,
it was worth it. It was worth the time.
In the 3D in that movie was excellent.
Oh yeah, but that was a benchmark, a movie that was ready. That was worth it. Okay, I need me some. Well, you already told you. I need me something beat up and something shot up and something cut up. I need to see that within the first 30 minutes,
Yeah.
or else I'm bored. So I ain't good for the sit down stuff.
Right, because if I had to watch the Titanic back when it first came out in the 90s, I would need like a good meal to carry me and a snack in between, because I would get hungry. And
Yes.
I would get real antsy and everything like that. Just like, because back then we didn't have recliner seats in the theaters
Oh
like we do today.
yeah.
So you had to sit upright, and your butt would probably fall asleep. And when you got up, you probably got your legs probably got stiff and all of that. If
I
you
am so glad I didn't see that movie.
Me neither. Like I said, the only thing that appealed to me was about that movie was the boat sinking, and I know I'm not the only one.
Well, there you go. My case rests. Now the Jurassic Park movies, I'd watch those.
Yeah,
Just to watch the alligators. I mean, watch the creatures chase everybody.
Yeah,
that's priceless.
Did you see the second Jurassic Park movie, Lost World?
Yeah, I've seen every one of them.
I think everybody in the theater went crazy when that black girl did that gymnastics move on the raptor.
I don't remember that.
Oh, you got to go watch that.
I got to watch it again.
Watch that part again. Those of you in the chat, do y'all remember the part where the black girl did that gymnastics move on the raptor and kicked it out of the window and it landed on that little I think it was like some kind of a spear, and she killed it.
Now that's nice.
Like she looked like a Gabby Douglas before Gabby Douglas.
See, and that's believable because that's exactly what we do. First off, we ain't gonna be nowhere with no damn dinosaurs.
Mm-hmm.
That ain't what we do. Nah, we back out of that and go eat some chicken or something.
That's how you know white people don't need to be around certain things. Like, you messing with nature now.
Of course.
And you're creating hybrids, and you want to set them free because you love animals and they shouldn't be held in captivity. These beasts are trying to kill you. They don't care that you're trying to free them.
Yeah, there you go. So we don't need to be around certain folk. And they don't need to be around certain folk. At this point in my life, in real life, as soon as somebody tells me they're trying to cure cancer, I think it's automatic execution. Because they use that excuse to do all their devilment.
Exactly.
Yeah, just automatically just take all their funding and sit them in a room someplace by themselves. As soon as a scientist say they're trying to cure cancer, because they use that excuse on all their crap. But he can cure cancer, and then next thing you know, everybody blowing up.
Exactly, just like in what was that movie, Rise of the Planet of the Apes?
I didn't see that because that's too close to home. In theory.
Well, the reason why you said when they were trying to find a cure for something, because in that movie they were trying to find a cure for Alzheimer's, but it backfired on them. And what happened was,
I got a phone call. I got to pause it and see if I can. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Oh well, it's too late. They're gonna leave a message for me. Please don't listen. Oh, my cousin just watching The Predator, and she's leaving a message for me.
Oh, okay.
She just watched Predator, and she's waiting on another one. So she's doing a Predator marathon. I am so sorry to interrupt. Okay, go ahead.
No, but in the Rise of the Planet of the Apes, they were trying to find a cure for Alzheimer's, and it backfired on them because it was like it seemingly had worked, but then, like I said, it backfired on because it was too, like, something was off about it. It wasn't meant for humans. And what happened was one of the guys had got sick, and he had got some mail, and he sneezed, and blood came out of his nostrils and landed on the mailman. And then that's how it started to spread. So we're trying to figure out how did the apes kill all the humans and whatnot? Because it's like it wasn't that many of them. It was because of the spread of that so-called cure, and it ended up spreading, and then it ended up wiping out a good majority of the planet.
There you go. The defense rests. That's my point. I ain't even seen the movie, but I know how things work. There
Mm-hmm.
you go. So as soon as you start telling me you carrying something, you in trouble. You on my I'm looking at you sideways because things get out of hand.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. I don't need to say another word. There you go. That's my point.
Oh, and
Raising people with science.
Like J-Dawg said, it backfired on the humans, but it worked for the apes and made the apes smarter.
Yep. Yeah, I haven't seen it because it's just too it's got too many politics and it's too close to reality. I need my fiction really far fetched. That ain't that far fetched.
And Lil Miss Firecracker said, "I Am Legend" was another one they tried to find the cure for cancer, but it turned them folks into zombies that hated the sun.
That's right. Hmm. That's close to reality too.
Hmm.
But you now you get my point about as soon as they trying to cure some kind of something, worry. Get worried. And that's what I'm saying. If as soon as they start getting funding and stuff like that, look at them sideways.
Because they about to do something sinister with it.
Yep, by mistake or on purpose. And it only takes us one. And you can't convince me that there ain't people that don't want to destroy the world.
Exactly.
Some of their science fiction are what they call dystopic. They got the utopic and dystopic, and that is where the world is going back to the Stone Age, and everybody is running around like your Mad Max's kind of worlds.
Mm-hmm.
I think some of them want that to happen.
Almost like a barren wasteland.
Yes, and some people want that.
Hmm. Trying to have art imitate reality.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Science fiction is a good gauge of the human psyche at times. Just looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
Black Rage 843 said Luke Cage was good. I like the Luke Cage character, but I haven't seen it on Netflix.
You gotta watch it.
I have to watch it. I'm because I'm that's exactly the kind of thing I'm into, and I have to watch. I had to watch the whole thing. I stopped watching Black Lightning because it was just it got boring to me.
I like Black Lightning. You should have kept on watching it. The new season about to start. Like it actually really got good. Like if you felt it was boring, like it really got good. Like this, I don't want to spoil it for you because you
Go
might.
ahead.
The younger sister ended up developing her powers.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, I'll tune back in it. I got it recording. I didn't stop it from recording it for me.
Mm-hmm.
So and plus it's on Netflix. And have y'all heard of this other app called Fixstor? Flixtor.
It's called what?
Flickstore.
I think I have heard of that app, but it's been years since I've heard about it. It says Flickster.
Now not the one with the ER, but this one has Flixtor. It has like I got to watch the whole series of Star Trek Discovery, the one that's on CBS.
Mm-hmm.
I got to watch the whole thing because I was looking for it and I found that. And so I looked around and I find that they got these kind of on-demand movies before at the same time on-demand has them. So I don't have to pay the $5 per movie. I can just watch it on that. And they get them before Netflix did.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's Flix, capital Flix, capital TOR, one word. And it was like $30 for 3 months.
Cool.
Yeah. And if you paid for the year, which I wish I had, it was about like $90. Something like 90. No, 2 years for about 90. Let me look at it. Let me see. I'm gonna look at the prices. Yeah, $89, $89.95 for 2 years. Right now. So, but I got a 90-day subscription because I wanted to test it out. But so far, I've been pretty impressed. So it's got, you know, like the TV series on there. It's got Triple X on it. It's got Equalizer. and Outpost and the first Purge. It's got the Sharknado movies and Star Trek Discovery. Just those kind of movies. Those are the ones I put on my list. Did I lose you all?
I think somebody was getting it mixed up between Flickster and Flickstore.
No, it's not Flickster. It's Flickstore. Yeah, because when I typed it, when I Googled it that first time, Flickster kept coming out, but it's different. This is different. Flickster was I think Flickster is gone. So this is Flickstore. Are y'all able to Google it? Yeah, Little Miss Firecracker is Flixtor, right? Not TER. I liked it. Yeah, silent thriller. I did like it. I do like it. Just at the price alone, because I'm not into the TV shows. Some people are into the empires and the whatever the other movie powers and things like that. I'm not into those. I seldom watch network TV. I watch action adventure shows, and I find out I'd rather live stream them. So it's something I like. So look at that sometime. Eek! I'm not on the line. Yikes. Shit.
Okay, I've seen some people saying they found it.
Okay. Okay. And just take a look at it. Can y'all see the menu? Did y'all lose my voice? It looks like, oh yeah, I see it. Okay, I'm good. I think. Yeah, I don't watch Empire either. I think I watched one episode.
A site that I go to watch shows if I don't have the cable or whatever is called Watch Episodes 4.
Let me write this down.
Because that's how I watched the entire season of Power, because I don't have stars.
So watched WATCH episodes
4. Mm-hmm.
And 4 as in 4 like the number?
Yeah.
Okay.
I will Google it though.
Yes.
Like type it into Google. Because I don't know the actual site name, but it's the first link that pops up.
Okay. I'm gonna write that down. I got that. I wrote that down.
That's how I watch the whole season 2 of Luke Cage. That's how I watched the most recent season of Power.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't have Netflix and I don't have stars.
And I'm trying to cut to cable. So I want to find my TV shows that I do want to watch without having to pay for everything that I don't want to watch.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really use cable like other people. So I'm trying to figure out how to cut the cable and just stream what I want to watch. And so I'm looking for things. Some people are getting the Fire Stick and the Roku and all of that too. So I'm just trying to find stuff I can stream, as I want to. And I do want to give up Netflix, but I haven't yet. So I'm looking for alternatives, and I think I'm going to take the rest of the year to figure out what I want to do and test out things. So that's what I'm writing that down to look to see what I can do. So this is good networking.
Exactly.
This is exactly what we're supposed to do. Now you do see SY. I mean, you will see Flickster, but look for Flickstore.
It's with an O, not an E.
Yes. Type in Star Trek Discovery, because that's how I found it. I was looking around to see if I can find some way to watch Star Trek Discovery. That new Star Trek came out a few years ago with the black female and Angela Sh0w, Yo. And that was one of the things that came up that said you can watch it. And I watched 3 episodes for free, and then they wanted money for the fourth episode, so I paid the $30 for 90 days to see how it did.
Hmm.
And I liked it. I didn't mind it. And then after I became a member, I started loading in the films that I did want to watch. And these were some of the movies that I was planning on watching on demand on cable. You know, where you pay for it $5 at a time. But I just loaded it up with 30 about I guess about 30, 25 or 30 movies that I've been planning on watching. And so I'm happy because all I got to do is click and they'll start playing. I saw Jurassic World not too long ago.
How was that?
I didn't mind it. I fast forwarded through parts. Um, Because I didn't need the background and the stupid storyline. I already know the storyline, blah blah blah, and I already know that somebody did something that somebody else didn't want them to do, and now the monsters are loose, blah blah blah. So I fast forwarded through the parts where they having a lot of dialogue and angst, and I got right to the monsters. That was good. I'm glad I didn't pay, like the full rate at the theater.
Hmm.
And
Yeah, I
so
didn't. I didn't go see it either. That's why I asked how was it because I didn't see it.
that's why
Now
Asma
you,
said she got rid of cable 3 years ago. I
now
don't
you,
blame you.
now you know what movie I heard was good? The Meg,
The Meg spelled how?
MEG, the one about the shark.
Oh, really? Because
Someone,
it's on there. I saw it.
somebody said it's like a cross between Deep Blue Sea and Jaws.
Ooh, I like that.
So they kept telling me that I need to watch it. I need to watch it, and apparently it must have did good because that movie made a lot of money. So they said it was one of them sleeper hits, like
Yeah, apparently.
like one of the movies that people didn't expect to do good that actually was good.
I'm
So I
gonna look
might
at it.
when this stream is over, I might go and watch it.
Okay, because I saw that one. When I didn't click the button to make that one of the movies I wanted to watch on my list, but I'll go back in there and do it now. I mean, do it, when I get off the stream too. Okay, because I looked at it and I said, okay, it looks like Shark. And I already knew I wanted to watch Sharknado because they are hysterical.
I was like, who came up with this? Like, who came up with this?
The way I figured it out at Sci-Fi Network, right? They have a disaster that's natural and a creature, and then they just toss a toss them in a hat and put them together.
Hmm.
So like Sharknado or polar bear avalanche. That ain't bad, but
Hmm.
you know what I mean. They just
Yeah.
put them together because they are hysterical. So yeah, Sharknado franchise was doing good. So yeah, I plan to watch Sharknado. So I'm gonna add Meg to it.
Right.
I also think Jaws was a benchmark movie.
Yeah, that's definitely a classic. That I say any movie that instills a type of fear that can be invoked in real life can make it come out of you, then it's good because that movie kept people out of them beach waters for a while.
It kept me out. I was living in Florida.
That's just like when the Final Destination movies came out. Like they invoked a fear in people that like for the first one, a lot of people were scared to get on a plane. Or the second one, people wasn't driving behind log trucks. To be honest, I wasn't really ride. I didn't want to ride behind log trucks to begin with. But that
Don't do
third one
that.
about the roller coasters, I wasn't trying to mess with roller coasters after that.
Yeah. Okay, well, there you go. Now in Florida, I lived there when Jaws came out. When I first walked in, I almost walked right back out of the movie. Those were the days where you didn't have to wait in line,
Hmm.
and you could just go in there. You could sit all day and watch the movie over and over again.
Hmm.
But Jaws was one of the first movies where they had you waiting in line
Right.
because there was so many people waiting and wanting to see it. And that was back in the 70s.
I remember my dad was telling me back then when he and his family, it was him, his mother, and his three brothers, my uncles. The youngest one, they had to end up leaving because he ended up getting sick.
Oh, wow.
Like because it was too much for him. Because at the time he was still young. He was probably like no older than 10. So he was in there watching it, and I guess when one of the parts came up, he threw up.
Oh, there's some things to throw up about in there.
Little Miss Firecracker, he said, "What happened with the roller coaster in the movie Final Destination 3 during the premonition scene? The roller coaster malfunctioned and started falling off the track, but some other stuff happened before it fell off the track too."
I still like roller coasters.
I do too. Like, I remember the first time I got on a roller coaster was back in '05, and I went with the it was like a class trip. We went to the Six Flags in Jersey, and I said, "Okay, I'm with all my peers right now. I can't look like no punk." I refused to watch all the bags. So I said, you know what? I'm going to get on this roller coaster. I got on the Superman. The Superman was the very first roller coaster I ever got on. And ironically, it was the one where you're laying down.
Ooh.
Not the one where you're sitting up, like the one near where we live. And from that point forward, I was like, wow, this isn't as bad as I thought it would be. So I was like going throughout the park to start roller coaster, like hopping everywhere, like to the point where it was almost like I got a high off of it, because it's like an adrenaline rush.
It's fun. So yeah, I would have done that too. I just hate to wait in line.
Right. Well, actually, for us, because we came as a group, we got that little pass, the one where you can bypass the lines.
Mm.
Yeah. So because we came as a group and we got like a little group discount, we got the little ride pass that says you gotta every few minutes, then you can. It's almost like an easy pass.
Okay.
Those are worth it, especially if you're traveling with a group of people during a busy day. That's the best part to do it. Now, one thing I've experienced that I enjoyed, I liked it, but I hate the fact that it kept raining off and on, was when I went down to Carowinds for their Scarowinds, which is basically Fright Fest for them.
Oh.
You know, like the thing they have for Halloween?
Uh-huh.
I went down there for that. Like, I was in college at the time, because Carowinds is in Charlotte, and the school I went to is in Columbia, South Carolina, which is an hour away. So we all went there, and I had a blast. But we went into this one haunted house called the Asylum, and I swear I was so scared. And they even gave you a warning. They said this is probably the scariest haunted house in the park. I was like, okay, we'll see.
Yeah.
And it was one part in there where you had, because it was called the Asylum, so you're walking through what looks like a crazy house. And it was one part in the hallway where they had these strobe lights flickering, and one of the guys who was dressed like a zombie, or one of the escaped patients, was walking in slow motion. So it looked like he was walking through frames. Like that stuff, that stuff freaked me out. So it's like every step it took, like he looked like he was growing closer and closer to me, as if he was running towards me, but he was walking.
Wow. See, that just sounds outright cool to me.
It was, but it was like, if you saw him, that's a good thing nobody recorded that.
Did you lose your cool?
I kind of did. I was like, yeah. I said, yeah, it's time to go. It's time to go.
The brother lost his cool. Okay, I'm glad nobody put that down. Had to record it. That's good.
Yeah, this is back like in '09 when this happened. So I was like 20 when this happened.
See, I always lose my cool at haunted houses. I'm one of the ones that run out and the monster be chasing me.
Yeah.
Because it's always in the back of my mind that it could be real. Pretending to be in costume.
But I will say this, when they do those like Fright Fest at like amusement parks and stuff, they go in. I can only imagine the amount of time and preparation they do to set all of that up. Because here's the thing. When it's like around like the time that we went, they'll have the park open during the day, but that's more for the kids and whatnot.
Yeah.
But then once a certain time comes, they kick all the kids out as under a certain age, and they have like the adults come in. So like how Dave and Buster's is. And man, that haunted house scared me. I wonder if they still got it there. They probably do.
You see, unfortunately, other people have flight or fight. I have both. So I'm running backwards swinging.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're too close to me, I'm just going to fight, because you're going to scare the hell out of me. My hand automatically connects. I'm busting you. So the first time I went into a haunted house, I knocked the hell out of Wolfman, who jumped out at me. And so he so he got a crush on me. So everywhere I looked at, he was popping out at me.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Something to remember you by.
yeah, he remembers me because I hit him and I heard him groan.
Right.
And I'm also the one where Dracula chased me and my friends down the street.
Wow.
So, because we act complete fools in a haunted house, my friends and I. We went into a haunted house at a mall once, right? Me and my friend. And it was empty when we went in there, just going to see what to like. Apparently, we were making so much noise that when we came out, there was a crowd of people looking all around us, all around in a circle. When we came out of there, I said, "What are these people?" Because they were looking to see who I was making all the noise inside the haunted house. So that's me in a haunted house. It's memorable, but I have so much fun. And I haven't been.
Yeah, I see. Ashton Lewis, he said Halloween is coming out next month this year. I do plan on seeing it.
Okay. That's the one with Freddy Krueger?
No, the one with Michael Myers.
Michael Myers. Okay, I get them mixed up. I'd be wanting where their parents at and all that kind of stuff. And how come crazy people always got good money? Because they can afford that old haunted house and all that weird junk.
Yeah, they be going all out with it.
I mean, what is their credit rating? They buying chainsaws and rope and junk and all that expensive junk to kill people with, but they don't have no job.
Now, I do have a Halloween type story that I got it, like, since we're talking about scary stuff, because this actually legit scared me. And it's funny that the topic of Halloween, the movie, actually came up. So a couple years ago, I'm in my house and I'm watching Halloween H2O. So, and it was on Halloween. And, you know, it's dark and whatnot. And, you know, I'm watching the movie. And all of a sudden, my alarm goes off. I'm like, hold up. What's going on? I go to the door and, you know, I turn the alarm off. I go to the door and I open it up and it's nobody there.
See,
it's like nobody there. I'm thinking somebody's playing a prank or something, but I'm looking both ways and there's nobody that could have possibly ran down the street because I would have saw them. There's nobody on the side of the house, none of that. Now it's completely dark. Now what ended up happening is I go into my kitchen, turn the light on, and the damn bulb blows.
Okay.
I said, okay, something really weird is going on here. And then what happens is I already had the door closed back. I run to turn the alarm on. Now the alarm won't cut on. Like, I'm not even lying. All of this stuff happened while I was watching that movie. And I'm thinking, hold on, if I start flying across this room, does that mean I let some paranormal activity in my house? Luckily that didn't happen, but the reason why it turns out the reason the alarm didn't cut on is because the sensor got knocked off. The wind knocked the sensor off. That's why. Yeah, that's what it turned out to be. But to be in that moment while all of that is happening, while I'm watching that movie,
yeah, I would have lost my cool. I would have did two steps. Three. Close the door, lock it, go get me a knife out the drawer and whatever, and had the rest of them.
Where I almost did it.
And cut off my movie. That movie was gonna come off. No. I probably wouldn't have watched the Halloween movie on Halloween just to poetry of it, because, you know, I'm paranoid and stuff. I watched too many scary movies to be taking chances. I ain't said Candyman 3 times ever.
Right.
You know, just don't take chances. And I ain't going in no woods with no bunch of people. Don't take chances. But yeah, I would have got me a weapon, cut off that movie, and that's what I would have done. And probably would have sat there and waited, looking for stuff. And I probably would have called my family, because they tough and just want to let them know. But yeah, I'm too paranoid.
Little Miss Firecracker asks, what did we think of the new It movie?
I didn't see it.
It was pretty decent. I still think the original scared me more. Like, I can't watch the original It movie anymore. I just can't. At my age, that was a one and done for me. I watched the first It movie probably when I was like in my early teens, and I haven't watched it since. Like I said, you know how Martin said in that episode, "That ain't no damn puppy, that ain't no damn clown." That is far from a clown.
Uh-huh.
But it was pretty decent. But like I said, I think the original one scared me more, and I think that's because in this one I knew what to expect. Now, if a person never watched it and watched this, it'll probably would scare them, like really scare them. Now, what will probably scare me because you know it's a part two to it when they're adults, and I think when he turns into that spider, and I think that spider is coming, that spider freaked everybody out.
See, plan B is to go get me a big old weapon and wait. Because I ain't the one where you're gonna, where you hit the monster, knock him down, and run away. No, 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 no. You chop off every little thing that moves, and then he can't, and throw it in different places so he can't get up.
I think the only part that scared me in the new It movie was when the kids was watching the slideshow, and then the slideshow had got malfunction, and then he popped out of the screen. That part made me scared because I didn't see that coming. Like that part made me jump a little bit.
And then that's when flight and flight kick in.
It would have just been flight because it was no way I was gonna fight that thing.
If it's too close to me, I gotta hit it. I can't stop myself. I've done that. I try to stop myself and run, but you're too close. I gotta hurt you. I try.
Mm-hmm.
But when I get scared, flight and flight kicks in. Not our flight. I'm gonna hit you. I'm gonna be swinging and running and hollering. Probably throw things at you.
Now, a movie that underwhelmed me that I just saw was The Nun.
The Nun. I didn't see that.
It underwhelmed me, and the thing is, I actually watched the other Conjuring movies to get myself prepared for it because they're all part of the same series, and Annabelle and all of them. But The Nun kind of underwhelmed me, and you can kind of like if you saw my review, like you can tell by the expression of my face, it wasn't to me that good.
I didn't want to watch it. It just didn't look like it. It looked too cerebral for me.
Mm-hmm.
I want my junk simple. Like I said, hit them with a hammer, you're good. I'm good. I'm fine.
Right.
Blow it up, shoot it, stab it, cut it.
The thing is, the preview for it looked really good. Like it actually looked like it was going to be really scary. And I liked how they marketed where they didn't show more than one preview. Like it was the same standard preview over and over again. So they didn't give too much away. But after walking out, I was like, it was okay. It wasn't all of that. But I mean, it is what it is.
So they got your money, but yeah, you took a chance. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Especially since I had spent the weekend before watching all the movies to get myself caught up. Because before then, I never saw one Conjuring movie. I didn't see any Annabelle movies, but I just wanted to see, be prepared for it. So I didn't go in there and not know what not to expect.
Little Miss Firecracker says Texas Chainsaw Massacre scared the hell out of her.
It did.
It scared me, and that's why I don't go up them woods fooling with folks now.
And you know what's so funny? Remake movies aren't really that good, but the one that came out in 2003, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre that came out in 2003, not the original one, but that newer one scared the hell out of me.
See, that's why you don't eat everybody's food. Okay? And all that stuff, I don't fool with them folks. No. You don't never know. Because there's a chance there's some weird folks up there. I'm just saying.
Someone said Japanese horror movies scared them. Well, I'll give you this one. It was a remake of a Japanese movie, but did you see The Grudge?
Mm-mm.
That sound that the demon made had me scared for a while. It was a sound that the demon made. And I remember when The Grudge came out when I was in high school, you had the kids there constantly making that sound.
See, I wouldn't be no good. There'd be some busted lips up in there. Actually, somebody else would have probably hurt them. So yeah, I watch horror movies, but horror movies actually do scare me.
Mhm.
And so I'm right in there, science fiction and action adventure. And I do take them as life lessons when they got weird stuff going on. Like I don't wear high heels out in the woods, running. Don't make sense. There, and I never would go in the basement to see if the monster's down there. You know how they hear the noise in the basement and then go creeping down there to see what's there.
Mhm.
No, 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 no. You go down there if you're gonna go with you take something with you, big, to hurt them with,
Exactly.
and cut on the lights. If the lights are off, be paranoid. So those are life lessons in there. That's what I keep saying. Watching, check out the movies. They're telling you stuff.
Mhm.
I didn't see Silent Thriller. I did see I Saw the Devil. That was good.
You talking about the one in the elevator?
I think no, I'm talking about it's a Asian horror movie called I Saw the Devil.
Oh, okay.
It was so good. A friend of mine at work came and told me about it because he knew the kind of movies I liked. And he said, "Go see I Saw the Devil. It's on Netflix."
Mhm.
I'm not sure if she's talking about the one in the that was on the elevator or not, but I'm talking about the one that was it was a good Asian horror movie. It was real good. Netflix it. It's y'all want to know what happened? Basically, it's a serial killer would kill these women, and her boyfriend or her husband flipped out and hunted him down. It was ugly. He got mad at him. That's all. That's the only spoiler I'm gonna do. But it was one. It's a very good movie. I do like the Asian movie genre when they be telling their stories. So I don't mind that, and I love my Asian anime. I love my little Asian cartoons. I'm wishing that we did have an equivalent because we got so many. We got the kind of imagination that makes that kind of stuff work. I swear I think that so many of our dollars are paying for that stuff.
Mhm.
So I really would like for us to do our own because I would love our stories. So yeah, I'd be watching. I mean, who doesn't know about Dragon Ball Z and Avatar, the Airbender, and Naruto and Bleach and all of them, and Inuyasha. So I was even there when the first Yu Yu Hakusho came out. Watching that on TV live when it was out in the what is that, 80s or 90s, 90s maybe. So yeah, I'm a fan of anime, and I swear I think our dollars are paying for their stuff.
You know what movies I did like though?
Hmm.
The Kill Bill movies.
Now I got mad at her because I just didn't like her. By that time, I was already woke, so I didn't like that. But it was a good movie. I would grudgingly say.
I would say the best fight happened in Kill Bill. Did you see Kill Bill Volume 2?
I don't know. I thought I saw. Yeah, yeah, I did. Where
My favorite fight was when she fought her in the trailer.
that's the one with the when she got the eyes.
Yes.
Okay, that was a good fight. That was
And what I
every one
liked
of those
was
fight was good.
what I liked about that fight was because it had no music to it except towards the end of the fight. But when she snatched her eye out, I was like, oh, I
Yeah,
literally lost it. I was like, I was not expecting that to happen.
I wasn't either. Those were good fights. They were good. They had good craftsmanship.
They were good, like really like well choreographed.
I like Cowboy Bebop and Bucciano. That's the one with the candy bar. And Cowboy Bebop animation cartoons. I'm looking at their writing. I love the theme song for Cowboy Bebop. Don't read the words to any Japanese theme song you ever hear. Do not read the translation, but just listen to the vowels and nouns. They have the stupidest lyrics to any of their music. Don't read that. Don't listen. Don't listen to the lyrics, but do listen to the sounds. But you're right about Kill Bill. They did have some good choreograph.
Mhm.
Well done. Well done.
And you know what's so crazy though, so funny? I have to give, because in Kill Bill Volume 1, everyone knows that Vivica was the first one to go.
Yeah.
But if you look at her kill list, she was actually the last one to go. It's just that she was the first one that we saw die on screen. But she was actually the last one to go. Like, go back and look at the movie again, and you'll see she was the last person on the kill list. But
Okay.
when I was looking at the movie and I saw the behind the scenes stuff, Vivica actually did pretty much all her own stunts.
I think Vivica Fox did a good job in that movie.
Yeah, for the little bit of time that she was there.
I think that's what soured me on the movie. That's probably in my heart. That's why I don't like it.
Somebody spoiled it for me too. They said, "Well, Vivica dies first." I'm like, "Well, thank you for telling me."
That was mean. Yeah, I think that's what spoiled me because I was already conscious by then, and I was annoyed. But I did watch it anyway because my cousin wanted to see it. The one that just called a little while ago wanted to see it. We are interested in the same kind of movies,
Mm-hmm.
and so that's why I watched it. She hunted me down and drugged me to it.
You know what's so funny too? In that movie, like if you look at it, all the people that she fought off and that she killed, you can tell that she, like, her enemies had sympathy for her, except for the one that she fought in the trailer. That was the one that you could tell she really wanted to deal with accordingly. And the reason why I say that is because she killed all her enemies up until that point, but the one who she snatched her eye out, she didn't kill her. She allowed her to just suffer. You can tell that. That's why you can tell she didn't like her. And if you look at the movie, her character didn't like her. Like, you could tell she was jealous of her.
Yeah, that was a big blonde lady, right?
Yeah.
The other blonde.
The one who had the eye patch.
Yeah. I think she had got the eye patch, the first eye removed because she did something to the master.
Yeah, she had said something out of line.
There's some mean folk.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah. And Ashton Lewis, I did see Avengers Infinity War. I saw it on that Flick Store. On that Flick Store app.
How did the ending leave you?
Let me see what happened. I forgot what happened on the end.
When he snapped his fingers.
What happened when he snapped his fingers? Okay, I don't forget.
He wiped out half the universe.
Oh, yeah. I think that it'll be wound up, it'll be reversed somehow because he could still go back in time and undo it after he sees what he did. So I left it in the air. But yeah, I expected him to do that.
We'll see what happens when Avengers 4 comes out next year.
Exactly. Because, you could tell that was going to be a sequel because too many of the main characters went away. Because, what's his name? That's played, oh, shoot. The one that runs it, Avengers, with the helicopter. He went.
Nick Fury?
Yeah.
Sam Jackson?
Yeah. And Sam Jackson, I mean, Nick Fury, as far as I know, never disappeared in the Avengers.
He did.
Oh. I stand corrected.
That's why you got to stay for the credits.
Okay. And how did you know I don't stay for the credits?
You said that.
You're right. Okay. Okay. I own that one. But yeah, I didn't mind it. I like the movie. I like the movie well enough. And so, yeah, I like the Avengers movies. I'm apparently becoming a Marvel fan over DC these days. So yeah, I like that whole movie.
DC got to get this stuff together.
Yeah, and they're trying to throw in black people.
Yeah, that was my first topic. And more.
Okay, Tareen, it's 4:00, so I'm gonna have to sign off.
Yeah, I'm about to get off too. You sometimes you get so buried in these conversations, you lose track of time. That's what I love about these live streams.
I can't believe we just spent that much time.
I know.
That was fast.
I know them live streams will roll on by and you will lose track of time.
Wow. Okay.
All right, but it was good having you on. It
Thank
helped
you.
help the conversation flow a little bit better.
This was fun.
It was.
Okay, I'm signing off. I
All
think
right.
I'm gonna click a button. I'm gonna see
All
what happens.
you gotta do is just click out, like click the X button.
Okay. Thanks.
All
And
right.
it was fun having being there.
Okay. But to everybody else in the chat, I will talk to y'all later, of course, on the main channel when I upload a new video.